This week, in Petal, Mississippi, a vicious murder rocks a family as everyone else scrambles to find a motive. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us. We're psyched. We're pumped for murder.
Again.
Which sounds weird.
Yeah.
But in context, it makes sense. So when you'll listen and you'll be like, oh, yeah, that's why they're excited for murder. We'll get to that. We have a good time here. We'll talk about how we do that in a second, and then we'll do it. So We're going to have a good time. Thank you, everybody, for everything this week. Thank you for your iTunes / Apple Podcast, whatever the hell reviews you want to call them. If you haven't done it yet, please get on that. Give us 5 stars. It really, really helps drive us up the charts. So if you want to help out the show, that's a good way to do it for 100% free.
Funky food.
And iTunes and their funky algorithm. I don't know how it works, but the charts seem to weigh. They seem to weigh on the charts. So please do that. Doesn't matter what you say. It's not for our ego. Just whatever you want there. Mm-hmm. Also, you can do everything from shutupandgivememurder.com.
Yes.
You can go there. You can get tickets to live shows,
right?
Which are, if you're listening the day this comes out right now, today on a Thursday. Well, we are in Atlanta tonight. Yes, so if you're in Atlanta, we think there's a few tickets left. Go on and scoop them up.
It's awfully moist.
Get there. It's going to be raining, of course, and cold. So we're flying in right at the right time. Then we're going to Minneapolis after that for Saturday's show. That's sold out, so if you don't have tickets for that, sorry. Right. But it's going to be freezing there. It's like 20 degrees, so
bring
that'll
our
be
wet
fun.
Luggage and let it freeze.
And let it freeze solid, and then fly down to Denver and let it freeze and then thaw out and then freeze again, because it's who the hell knows what happens there. So get those tickets. Also, you can get merch there. You can get all of our T-shirts and mugs and bath mats, and you can get all sorts of stuff there. Buy a shirt, wear it to a damn show.
Boy, do we appreciate it.
We appreciate the hell out of that. And speaking of appreciate, you know what we really appreciate is our Patreon and PayPal people. You guys, man, thank you. You keep this show running, and we really, really appreciate you. If you want to help out the show, you can do it very easily over at patreon.com/crimeinsports, which is the name of our other podcast, which if you're not listening to that, I don't know what you're thinking. You're missing out. It's not like, I don't want to hear about sports. You're not going to hear about much sports. It's all of the crime, maybe some sports, but it's mainly just happens to be that these people played sports are the criminals that we're talking about. And we'll talk about their careers and whatever made them, just so you know who they are. That way you can laugh harder at them when they fall. That's the whole point of that show. So please get on that. Listen to that show, please. But yeah, you can do that. Also over at PayPal, you can make a donation there, one-time donation, just using our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com. Right. That's also a good way to get a hold of the show.
Yes.
And tell us things.
Send your stories there.
Yeah, that's great. Send, you got murders you want us to look at, send them over there. Sure. We check them out, and once in a while, one of them will pop up when it fits the criteria of what we're looking for here. And that said, man, I think we need the disclaimer at this point.
Let's do it.
Let's do the disclaimer. Listen, this is a comedy podcast, okay? It's a comedy show. We're comedians.
We are.
That's the way it is. So we're going to make jokes. There's jokes around this stuff. And if you say, what's so funny about murder? Anyway, there's a lot funny about a murder. Not necessarily the actual act of the murder, obviously, but around it. Think about the circumstances. There's always crazy people. Sure. The murderers usually aren't too stable.
Never.
There's small towns in this case. There's bumbling police forces. There's so much around it to laugh at. And we're going to do our best to do that.
Right. But if you can't find it, then you're not looking hard enough. Yeah, you're
not looking hard enough. But what we will also do our best to do is to not make fun of the victims or the victims' families. That's kind of how we roll here, because we're assholes, but we're not scumbags.
That's true.
That's the truth there. So if that sounds great to you and you're on board, awesome. We're going to get along. We're going to have a good time. Yeah. We're all in the car. We're on the way to rob the liquor store. So we're all involved at this point. No complaining. If someone accidentally squeezes the trigger and a small Korean lady's brains end up on the plastic vodka bottles and cartons of Marlboros behind the counter.
On the lotto tickets.
You are just as involved for those brains on the scratchers as anybody else out there. So no complaining. We're all on board. And if you think true crime and comedy should never, ever go together and no jokes should be made in any sphere of a murder possible, then you're not going to like the show, probably.
Out of here.
And have a good one. Nice to meet you. Unsubscribe, probably best for both of us. everybody else who wants to have fun and have a good time and enjoy your life, because you're not murdered yet, obviously, if you're listening, then yet I specify, you never know. Then,
you never know.
I think you should shout out as loud as you can, wherever you are, in your car, on your Stairmaster, wherever the hell you are.
On the bus.
If you're in a conservative office, maybe go into the bathroom, go into the stall, say it quietly to yourself into some toilet paper, but shout out, shut up, and give me murder. Let's do this. Yeah. What do you say, Jimmy?
I would love to go on a trip.
Let's go on a trip.
All right.
Let's do this. We were in New Jersey last week. We were in the southern New Jersey panhandle, which, by the way, we got some feedback on that. Number one, everyone from New Jersey was like, nailed that area. Nobody was like, hey, fuck you, it's great there. Everyone was like, you nailed that perfect. Right. Only thing is, locally, they're called Pineys.
That's what they call
Southern
themselves?
Jersey people. No, that's not what they call themselves. Okay. That's what the rest of them call. Okay. They're Pineys, because that's the pine forest down there, and they're south of the pine forest. So this one guy said that's like worse than a piney. Okay. That's piney fucking plus. Piney squared.
The Pineys make fun of those people.
Yeah, they'll make fun of those people. So interesting. We were in New Jersey. Now let's head down south to Mississippi.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going southern.
Should we?
We're doing it, Jimmy. To the site of our first small-town murder, which was in Mississippi, if you remember episode number 1. And one of the few places we got shit from people for making fun of.
That's true.
The Mississippi people are very sensitive, as people in shitty places normally are. Very sensitive, which you shouldn't be. We live in Arizona. We make fun of it because we know it's terrible. You should do the same with your shitty town or city, wherever you are, your state. You know, in New Jersey, no one got mad. They were like, it is fucking terrible. It's even worse where you were talking about. Holy shit, it's awful down there. So
Mississippi, for
have a sense of humor, Mississippi.
For a place with so much ingrained and historical hatred, they're rather sensitive. Why are you so sensitive?
They're a little sensitive, and for a state with a one of the lower literacy rates in the country, it's odd that they have such a difficult state to spell. That's also interesting. Good job here. But
Arizona, too, the state we're in, we were the last state to take Martin Luther King Day.
I know Arizona's terrible. That's what I mean. We're never shooting down.
No.
We're always just,
We're always picking off people above us.
There's no down from here. So, sorry, we're all in the same boat with you. It sucks. So we're going to Petal, Mississippi. This is southern Mississippi, too. This is
rose petal or like petal bike?
Petal.
Okay,
Petal.
like a rose.
And if one of you says it's Petal, go fuck yourself. It's not. That's not how you say that word. So, no, it's not.
I'm just trying to think, is pedal Pedal?
That's pedal on a bike.
No, that's DLLE.
Yeah, you're right. That's to like sell something, to peddle something. That's like if you're peddling drugs. Never mind.
I'm a good speller, I swear.
Yeah, no, I know you are. That's fine. We're gonna get past this.
This is rose petal. I think it's like that.
We need to move on anyway. Either way, it's at the very bottom of the county it's in, which the county, it's so amazing. The county's, this isn't at the bottom of the county, but the county it's in, the very southern part of it is in the Mississippi Panhandle.
Right in the middle.
So this is a Mississippi Panhandle county anyway.
Fantastic.
So last week we had the Jersey Panhandle and now Mississippi. Great. So we are just diving into the wonderful places.
Sifting through it.
Sifting's a good word.
Yeah.
It's about... an hour 40 to Jackson, Mississippi, which is the capital. About 2 hours to Louisiana, to New Orleans over there. So, you can get down there. And about 4 hours and 20 minutes to Sarah, Mississippi, our first episode, which is way up in northern Mississippi over there. If there isn't, it feels weird even saying the word north in Mississippi, even if it doesn't belong there.
It's so southern. At all.
It's so southern.
The whole state is south.
Yeah. And yes, we are biased, and I have nothing against the South. I'm from New York, and like when we go to Georgia, I'm going to pretty much hide out in my hotel room to avoid a My Cousin Vinny situation happening in any way, shape, or form. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen down there.
Blue shark skin suit, digging a car out of the mud.
No, I'll be Ralph Macchio. That's my concern. I'm not going to be Vinny. I'm going to be Ralph Macchio. They're going to pin him fucking some horrible thing on me. I shot a hillbilly.
Ford Tempest.
Yeah, and no. It's in Forest County here, zip code 39465, area code 601. It's about 17 square miles. And the motto of this town, this is on the website, and they really tout this a lot, is the friendly city. That's the motto. I prefer my motto, which is Mississippi, the New Jersey of the South, which I think that's fitting.
I like that they put the friendly city.
The friendly city.
The one. This is the one
city.
Down here.
Friendly city. This is the friendly one. All the other ones, they're going to run you out of town before dark.
You know what's going on there.
You know what's happening there.
This is the friendly one.
We never ask, you ain't from around here, are you? We never ask that. We just assume it because we know everyone here.
We've taken boy out of our lexicon.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not bad.
We've deleted it.
Well,
what do you call a small man? A small man.
Small
That's
man.
What we call him.
A child. A male child.
We do not. What is it? Is it a boy or a girl? We don't say that.
We don't say them words around here.
It is a male.
That's great. It's located along the Leaf River, for whatever that's worth. The first postmaster of Petal was Irving A. Polk. Now, this is only important because of the name of the town derives from him. The post office was established in 1903 here. Him and his wife, Irving and his wife Lydia, had a daughter named Gladys Petal Polk. Okay. And she was born in 1902, and she died at 2 years old.
Jesus.
Of diphtheria, which is a thing that people died of.
That dip took a lot of good kids.
On the Oregon Trail 100 years ago, that took some, like, back then too, that was like, that kid died of diphtheria too. Like, everyone was like, oh, that sucks.
That's
like,
crazy.
Yeah, you had 5 more? Okay, good.
Took my niece and nephew too.
Yeah, you had 5 more? How many of them died? You got 2 left? Hey, congratulations. 2 out of 6 ain't bad. That's good. Hero. That's how it went back then, before vaccinations and shit. So she died, and so they ended up naming the town after her. I assume the postmaster just started fucking putting it on things, and then that became the name of the town without a formal meeting.
Writing this little girl's name over and over and over again.
Petal. And a portrait of the baby hangs in the Petal Civic Center also.
Good Christ.
Yeah, creepy.
If that's not a
100-year-old baby. 120-year-old, that just looks like a ghost child, which is scary, because it is. That's what's scary.
That's exactly what it is.
Old pictures of children, they look like frightening ghost children. Like, if you see the worst, we went to a restaurant one time, and there was a family of Mennonites there, and there was like 8 fucking Mennonite children running around, and they're basically...
these were alive ones.
These were alive ones, but they look like ghost children. I'm like, these are kids dressed like it's 1890. This is the creepiest shit I've ever seen. I'm like,
Civil War soldiers walking through.
10-year-olds with bonnets on. I'm like, what the fuck is that about? Yeah, it's the worst. So
why would you do that to your kid?
Floor-length dresses and bonnets. That's wonderful. And the little boys running around with blocked hats, trying to grow a beard and shit. I'm like, this is terrible. Goddamn awful. And Petal is also buried in the Hattiesburg City Cemetery. This was until the 70s. This was part of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. It's part of that area, but it's not.
That's where our friend Drew and his girlfriend.
That's right.
Jessie,
that we met in Nashville.
Right.
They were very cool. Yes, that's true. And they make T-shirts.
They do.
They do.
Yeah.
Also, you should buy those T-shirts. By the way,
may as well. Yeah,
what are they? They're nice people. Let's plug them.
They're great people. The shirts are never have a bad day.
Never have a bad day shirt. Also,
you can find them on Facebook.
Let's make this the plug minute.
Okay.
Also, buy Sarah's book. It's very goddamn funny. I'm telling you that. I'm not saying husband or not, if it sucked, I'd be like, she wrote a book. But it's actually fucking hilarious. It really is. So buy it. It's called Small Potatoes. Sarah Hunt. Get it on Amazon. You'll enjoy it. Trust me. Her sense of humor is dark and funny, and it's about just funny shit. So anyway, this post office here, we'll get to this. They said the post office needed a name, and there's different accounts of who came up with it, but somebody suggested Petal during a community picnic is basically what happened. And they said, yeah, sure, that's nice. And the wife of the dead child thought that was a nice gesture. So they did it. And who cared back then? There was nobody there anyway. So what the fuck did they care?
And everybody in the town probably just felt that way. It's the friendly town,
It's the friendly town. So we'll take in this baby here. For much of Petal's existence, most of it was known as the largest unincorporated town in the United States. I don't know whether that's actually true or not, but that's what they called it all the time. Because it was separate. It was still kind of in Hattiesburg, but it was a separate community completely that had a pretty good population of its own. So it made no sense for it to be part of Hattiesburg. I
hate that was a competition. The largest city of anything. We're the largest unincorporated, home rule,
whole fucking
There's a shitload of us not following the rules down here.
Well, no, it just means that they're it's so weird. And every state has a different definition of this horse shit too.
Who the hell wants to be in a giant ass city like that?
Well, I don't
want anything to.
Well, if you live in the, who the hell knows?
I get really upset when we're the largest this or the largest that.
Yeah,
I don't.
Whether it's the largest ball of yarn or the largest anything, whatever your largest is, if you need to have a largest to put your town on the map, it's sad. Yeah. Especially largest unincorporated. Where do people go? Hey, honey, pack the kids up. We're going to Petal.
Right.
Why is there like a Six Flags there?
No.
It's the largest unincorporated town in the United States. Okay,
you can get everything there except incorporated.
Okay, what do they have there? Like regular shit, like everything. They got Walmart and a Denny's and shit, and we'll just go there and have a grand slam. And we'll come back. It's fine. Just fuck. So, April of 1974, that is. I guess I should differentiate. Petal separated from Hattiesburg, and on April 5th, 1974, it was incorporated as the city of Petal. So there you go. It's separated. It's all farmers out there too. It's a different life than the Hattiesburg people have. Okay. So it's just different. At that time, 1974, it was all farmers. Mm-hmm. That's all it was. It was a rural farming community. And slowly, though, that started changing. As they modernized, there's less farms. There's more shit going on, including, this is big business when this comes to town, Jimmy. Now, I should have put this in things to do, but we'll find out why I couldn't. Okay. But this here, I mean, I'm surprised. I'm really surprised they didn't make this the new Hollywood.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, just move D.C., just move the White House here, honestly, because in 1979, the International Checker Hall of Fame came here.
What is there, 2 people in that?
And that is actually, I know you're going checker no, this is actually people who play checkers well.
Jesus.
That's the Hall of Fame that's here. It opens in 1979.
They're all 7.
All 7 of them. Founded by a guy named Troy Ford. Now, Troy, regular spelling, F-O-R-D-E, the O has a fucking line through it like he's a Nordic person, but the Troy has no fucking line. Why is that? I understand it's probably different pronunciations, but no. Is that fjord? Is that fjord?
Why do you have so many?
I don't know.
Why do you have so many ways to write a vowel?
I don't understand.
With the slashes above the dots and the
there's dots and there's umlauts and there's.
Stop it!
Enough. We get it. Use other letters to tell us how to pronounce things.
It doesn't matter. If you speak the language, you can pronounce it either way, probably.
Well, there's probably an O, and then there's 5 different ways to do it. I get that, but you can also accentuate that with another letter that makes that sound. But then again, that's English. So what the fuck do we know?
If that letter creates a problem in the pronunciation of the word, change the fucking word.
Or you can just change the word. You can do anything you want. You're in control. That's what we're saying. Do your thing here. But it was located, this Checkers Hall of Fame, in a Tudor-style mansion in Petal, Mississippi. It housed a large collection of Checkers memorabilia. I checkerboards.
There's 3 things for a checkerboard.
The first kinging that ever occurred.
You got red, you got black, you got a red and black board.
That's it. It had been home to a statue of Checkers' great Marion Tinsley, a Checkers library, how many fucking books are in a Checkers library, and a museum, as well as the 2 largest checkerboards in the world, and hosts to a number of checker tournaments. Unfortunately, it was destroyed by fire in 2007. The whole thing burned to the fucking
ground. 2007.
2007.
Took it a while to burn.
It took almost 20 years. It's fucking crazy too. They had this.
Well, if Marion's so fucking great at checkers, how come I never heard of him?
Never heard of her or him. We don't even know what you are. Sorry.
I don't even know what to call you.
I don't know whether to call
Marion?
you Marion. Who the hell? And it was featured on Ripley's Believe It or Not. This mansion.
Can you believe it burned down?
Can you fucking believe there's an entire place dedicated to checkers? Isn't that unbelievable? Can you believe anyone cares about this? There's people here. Believe it or not. Look. People have taken their children here as the thing to do today.
That's the real Believe It or Not.
That's the Believe It or Not here. It would host the World Checker Championships.
Those are the questions I want Dean Cain asking on that show. I don't want the questions, do you believe that this exists? It's, can you fucking believe this exists? This is the most worthless.
I think that's what it was. Like, is this? I know it's probably for the world's largest checkerboard. Right. It was like a life-size big thing, but it had to be for. I can't believe this is happening right now.
That's the end of the show.
People are employed here. Isn't that amazing?
I want Dean Cain to melt down about his career because he's talking about
this. God damn it!
Can you fucking believe
this
that
is my fucking job right now? This is my job. At one point, I was Superman. I could fly away, man. I could fucking fucking fly away, and instead I'm showing you the burnt down husk of a fucking Checkers museum. Do you understand that?
This isn't even Bobby Fischer. Nobody gives a fuck about this.
No one knows. It's Checkers. You ever hear it's chess, not checkers, and that means checkers is dumb and chess is smart. This is a museum dedicated to dumb.
This is a museum dedicated to people that play a game when they have dementia.
It's all 7-year-olds inducted in. 7-year-olds and 83-year-old people with Alzheimer's. Those are the only inductees.
The little children, age gap right in the middle.
Little children. By the way, Marion Tinsley, the bust also has a letter from Tinsley renouncing his Checkers championship for some reason. Okay. I guess he
came to his senses.
Also has a hall that featured a museum with photos of current and former champions, which a teaching facility. Here, what you do is you jump one, and then if there's another move, that you can jump another one, and then when you get to the end, you say "King me." That's the teaching. There you go.
I would rather see a museum of all of Petal's old shit that she collected in just 2 years of life. Whatever she owned, that's what I want to see more than this fucking Checkers.
Well, the burning of it was shady too, because there was a guy who was involved with the whole thing, putting it together, ended up getting charged with money laundering in 2005, and then the museum continued kind of on a limited basis, open only a couple days a week until it burned down.
Weird.
So it's a little odd thing there. Yeah,
somebody hated their job.
Somebody didn't like what was happening there. Petal also damaged a lot extensively by an F3 tornado on January 21st, 2017. So this was very recently. Apparently it had kept intensifying as it crossed into the county here and started tearing apart some residential areas of Hattiesburg. And like they said, there was well-constructed brick homes that had roofs torn off and exterior walls even collapsed from brick, which is, you gotta be a lot. That's intense. And
even the big bad wolf couldn't pop those down.
No, an elderly woman was killed, which is how you know it's a disaster.
Yeah.
Because like I've said before, if no elderly people die, it's not a real natural disaster.
Yeah.
First thing that takes is elderly. Once an inch of rainfall comes, like three old people just die. It's just how it works. They drop dead in their living rooms. They don't even know why. They don't even drown. So I know it has to happen. So, the F3 here crossed over, snapping metal power pylons.
Wow.
Damaging buildings and churches and all sorts of shit here. Residential area, tearing up homes, tore off the entire top floor of a church, and then went directly into William Carey University's campus and had a bunch of structural damage and tossed vehicles around the parking lot, windows blown out, top floors and roofs. It was just a crazy fucking storm. It's a real Dorothy affair happening there.
And a pastor somewhere is like, it took our top floor.
Took the top,
where
that's
all
God's
the Bibles
floor.
are.
That's God's floor.
It saved all the Bibles.
All the Bibles still there.
Still in the backs of the
Not
pews.
a drop of rain on them even. It was
Not
weird.
one.
Just nothing.
Bone dry.
Bone dry. Now, notable people from here. This is notable as...
Well, we got Petal.
Number one, we have Tom Walters, who was a safety for the Washington Redskins, who no one's ever heard of, unless you're a Redskins fan. Cliff Pace, who, guess what he does for a living?
He's a race car driver?
No. More redneck than that, if that's possible.
He's a hunter?
More.
He's a bass master?
That's right. You got it. 3 guesses. Those are the 3 most redneck things you can think of. Race car driver, hunter, bass master. He was...
I am so lightheaded right now. That hurts.
That's amazing. He hit it on the fucking head. In 2013, he became the 43rd world champion of bass fishing at the Bassmaster Classic. So you even nailed the event. The Bassmaster Classic.
In my head, I was like, say noodling.
Amazing.
Say noodling.
Nope, Bassmaster. That was perfect. Fuck, even the Bassmaster. Gee, you said that, my eyes lit up like, oh my God, he got it. This is the best thing ever. Thinks oil's in Florida, but nails Bassmaster, no fucking problem.
Throw redneck stuff at me. I'll hit it every time.
And then finally, a man who I dislike vehemently, Ray Perkins, who is, you don't know who he is, but he was a University of Alabama wide receiver. He attended Petal High School, where he was an All-American, and then he went on to be a fucking terrible NFL coach. I mean, god-awful fucking embarrassment. He was the coach of the Buccaneers when they were terrible in the early 80s. That fucking awful.
Ray Perkins?
Ray Perkins, and then he was the guy who replaced Bill goddamn Parcells on the Giants after they won the Super Bowl after the 90 season. They give us this fucking drip. He comes in, Absolutely ran it into the ground. He had a look on his face like, please don't hit me. He was a douchebag. He caused my father several broken remote controls over a long season of Giants watching. Put it that way. You son of a bitch bastard, he would yell. So, people in this town. It started out 1980. There's about 8,500 people there. By 1990, some people came to their senses and left. About 7,800 people. By 2000, 7,500 people. It had gone down, and now it popped back up again. And right now we're at 10,701, which is up about 36% since 1990.
That's
so
a lot
just
of
drop, and people are. There's so much bass.
So many bass
That's why
masters.
they heard about the great bass fishing down there and have flocked to the area. So it's up there. Median age is actually lower than normal. Normal is 37.1, and here it's 35. So that's actually younger. Most of these small towns skew old. The female male populations are to the 100th of a percent, like they're 200ths of a percent off the averages. Nailing it, very average. More married people than not, which in some of these towns, there's more religious people, as we'll get to. So you're going to get kind of the higher marriage rate there. So it's not the best place to be single. Widowed rate's a little higher. There's a lot of old people, a lot of young people. It's one of those towns. Divorce rate's actually higher down here too.
Really?
Which is odd. Not by a lot, but a little bit here. Single with no children, 11%, 11.5%. So, mingle as you might.
Luck.
Good luck to you. Race.
That's a bleak Tinder profile.
That's tough. Well, normally it's about 10%, so they're actually above.
They're a little higher?
A little higher, actually,
but,
because there's some young people.
But with a small population, that's tough.
Yeah, with 10,000, so there's 1,000. There's 1,100 single people roaming around, so good luck to you.
That's not good.
That's not good with no kids, so hopefully you'll find each other. Now, race of this town, 77% white, 10% black, so it's, a whiter southern town. But there's some black people there. Friendly, remember? Friendly city.
The friendly city.
The friendly city. Half about 0.52% Asian, so not a lot of Asian there. It's about 10% of the average that's normally there. 8.29% Hispanics. That's about half the average Hispanic population that's normally around. So it's pretty goddamn white is what we're getting into. It's what you think of with a southern town. Mostly white, some black people.
Mississippi.
Yeah, Mississippi, Religion, very religious here. 69% religious here.
That's too much.
That's a lot. That's way fucking too much. For me, anyway, personally.
I don't want to be.
If you're into that, but that's too much church for me.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of fucking
religion. To a point, like the people that say that they're religious, those are the people who go to church. There are people who say they're not religious, and they only go a little bit. You know what I mean?
They get down there. It's like, I only go twice a week, so I'm not that religious.
Right.
I'll let you get, you're going to go 2 for 2 here. Okay. Top religion down here. What do you think?
Southern Baptist.
You bet it. 31% Baptist.
Christ.
Baptist. Wow.
Yeah.
The Catholics of the South.
That's
the
a
Baptists
lot.
are. Absolutely. They are proliferating a great deal.
31.
31%
That's
Baptist.
38% of everything else.
Heavy Baptist down there. About 9% Catholic. I figure that's the Hispanic population is 9%, and it's 9% Catholic. So I see a coincidence there, probably. 2.4% LDS. I don't know how they got there, but they're getting in there. 0.02% Jewish. Not a lot of Jewish people there.
That's like one dude.
Yeah, and 0.08% Muslims.
How about that?
A few Muslims.
There's more Muslims than Jews.
That's interesting, right? 41.7% Democrat in this town, voted Democratic in the presidential election 2012, and 55% Republican. So it's Mississippi. You're not going to get a lot of Democrats down there. Over 3% independent, which is actually way higher than normal. It's about double normal.
The national?
Normal, it's just about 2%, a little under 2%. I see 3.5%. They have about 3. So what? 300 of them.
Free thinkers. I don't know what they are.
Who knows?
Bananas.
I don't know. Independent. Unemployment rate here is 6.8%. So that's a little high compared to the national is about 5.2. So a little high there. Median household income, though, is actually close. Nationally, the national average is about 53,500. Here it is 51,000.
That's great.
So that's not bad. Yeah. That's on par. The high end of the income isn't very high. There's not a lot of like above 150,000, but there's a lot in the, like the middle seems to be solid. Okay. Middle income seems to be a lot of that there.
20 to 40.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, there's a lot of that there. Jobs, there's a lot of retail trade. There's a school there, like we said, the college. So there's educational services and a lot of old people because it is almost double the healthcare and social assistance type deals down there too. So apparently it's paying well. So that's not bad. Cost of living, after all this, 100 being par average normal. Cost of living here is 90. So it's pretty high.
That's expensive for Mississippi.
It is. The housing is a 76. So the median home cost here, $141,900, which is low. That's pretty low. But you expected Mississippi. Like Sarah, Mississippi was way low, I think, if we remember from that first episode. I should have went back and checked it out.
But it's 4 hours away from this shit, too.
That's way up north. I'm just in Mississippi as a whole. Here, it's a lot of the houses are between 100 and 200,000. Over 50% of the houses are that. But there's also there's about 20% that are between 60 and 100,000, which is low. So not a lot in the high end range.
And if Mississippi's on the Gulf Coast, right?
It is. It's on the Gulf Coast. Yeah, this is close to the water. Not too far. It's probably an hour, not even from the water. So if we've convinced you that you need to be in Petal, Mississippi, we have for you the Petal, Mississippi Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom rental here, in general, is $880.
That's decent.
That's not too shabby. It's about $400 under the national average, so not terrible. I found a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. 1,364 square feet. There are boards on the windows, so I don't know what that means. That seems like there's probably not windows.
That is tornado-proof.
Yes, I don't know what happened there. Maybe that's a tornado house. I'm not sure. $24,900. Okay. So whatever it is, it's a structure for basically, the price of a used Toyota. So you can't get a used SUV for $24,900.
You can be a tornado-proof house for it.
Yeah, maybe. I found a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's 1,685 square foot house for $49,900. And this one has windows. It's livable. It's needs some updating, but it's not a bad place. And then finally, I found a nice place to stretch out here. 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,044 square feet. Not a huge place, but nice. It's brick, so stable in case a tornado rips through town.
Unless it's an F3.
Unless it's an F3. Very nice looking house. $227,500. Okay. So that's your high end. Things to do here. Obviously, it's just chock full of things to do.
Checkers.
Checkers.
Bass mastering.
You can master bass. You can be kinged by another person. There are very, very things to do. Yeah. Or you can go to the City of Petal Fall Festival, which is at Hinton Park. The day will kick off with a car show benefiting the Shop with a Cop program.
I've heard of that before.
And we've heard of that in these small towns. Shop local vendors and end the night with a performance by Dylan Scott, who I looked up and is some country person. Okay. I have no he's just some young-looking country guy who every picture of him, he's in a tank top, which is an odd performing outfit, but he's got a thick beard and a tank top.
They got to stop that. There's a few of them that do. Like Trent Tomlinson used to love doing that.
I don't know who that is. I've never heard of these people.
Stop with put a fucking shirt on. Cover your shoulders, you weirdo.
I would agree with that.
Just cover them. Nobody wants to see them.
And no flip-flops while you're at it.
We get it. You got a tattoo. Good for you, you fucking tool.
Yeah, so does everyone else.
Get one on your forearm like a man.
So if you look at their website, they're very proud of their safety here. Yeah. It says, thank you for visiting our website. I love when they do that like it's 1997. Thank you for visiting.
Thanks for finding us.
Thank you. The City of Petal is a growing, vibrant community known throughout the state for our award-winning schools and superb quality of life. We are also proud to have received the designation as safest city in Mississippi with a population over 10,000 due to our extremely low crime rate.
And
they're barely over 10,000.
We're super friendly.
And they're very friendly. Crime rate here actually is lower. Property crime is 25% under the average. And violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, is about a third lower than the national average. Yeah. So not too shabby in terms of crime. They've put it together.
Definition of anything ever.
The Mount Rushmore of crime. So let's talk about a murder.
Yeah.
What do you say here? Murder that happened in this town and messing up all their statistics and everything else. This murder happened in the 90s, though. We'll talk about it. We're going to go back to about 1995.
Okay.
So we got to go back in time. The calendar's flipping and we're spinning, but it's not. There's not too many clocks turning. Okay. It's only 95. Yeah. We're not going to the 60s or anything. We'll talk about a couple who came up here. We'll talk about Rhonda first. Rhonda Griffiths is her name. Griffis.
Okay.
Griffiths, which I just want to say Griffin or Griffith.
Right.
But Griffiths makes me sound
Didn't
like I can't speak.
Griffin last week? Or
I don't think so.
Griff something. Fairly recently we had a Griff
Curtis
something.
Smith last week. Which we had last week was Curtis Smith, and then Crime and Sports this week was Charles Smith, and that fucked me all up. I was really confused. I was like, what is happening? Is that the same guy? No, good, okay. That would suck if I missed that connection. So we'll talk about her, Rhonda Griffiths. She's born 1967.
Mm-hmm.
So, 1995. She's in her 20s.
Yeah.
She's an only child. She was going to Southern Mississippi University, or University of Southern Mississippi. I apologize. People freak the fuck out if you misplace your U. So University of Southern Mississippi, she went to 1988. She was on the dean's list at Southern Miss. So she's, she's a smart,
that's a positive
young lady. Yeah. She wasn't on like the dean's list for you're fucking one away from being expelled, mister. This is the dean's list of good people, not the one we were on.
There's pride in this one.
Yeah, not the one we were on of, oh shit, they put us on the list, man. Fuck. Shit, we're just, that's, anything happens.
One more truancy, I'm fucking out of here.
Fucking in school suspension, man. We're screwed. We're going to have to sit in that room and stare at the cubicle walls or whatever the hell they had up next to the desk. It's the worst.
And now back to the show.
So she ends up meeting a young man named David. Her name, by the way, Rhonda Hatton is her maiden name. Griffiths is her married name. Rhonda Hatton as she is until she's married, obviously. So
she chose to marry somebody with that last name,
Griffiths,
knowing that one day in her life, she's gonna go. I wish there was an N or a TH at the end of this.
Can we just? There's got to be more consonants.
We got to modify this.
We can lose the S and just have a TH. We could be Griffith. That's not bad.
We could put a TH and then keep your fucking S.
We could be Griffin.
Yeah, we could be the Griffins.
Oh, that's cool.
Fuck?
I'm into that. We can have the apostrophe on the outside and on our doormat. That's great.
It's beautiful.
No, it's not. She meets this guy in college. While she's in college, and like we said, she ends up going by Rhonda Hatton Griffiths. She's like, look, my name. I wasn't born Griffiths. So trust me. She meets him and ends up leaving school and dropping out of school because she gets pregnant in college with David's child, and they end up getting married and settling down. And she always hopes to finish her degree at the university here at some point, because she was, I think, 3 years into it, so she doesn't have that much to go. So she's that's her hope. Okay, they have a young they have a child named Justin when she's in 1988 when she's finishing. That's her dean's list year. So she was on multiple lists: the dean's list, the pregnancy list, the maternity list. She was on a lot of lists that year.
The Lamaze class
list, the list of fun girls also. Just fun chicks list from David Griffiths there. But no, they settled down. They have a nice, they were a serious couple. They weren't fucking around. They're a serious couple, and they end up settling down. And 1990, they have another son named Jeffrey. So they have Justin and Jeffrey as their two sons. At least their last name isn't Jiffis or something. That would be Justin and Jeffrey Jiffis. Johnson or John.
They could go forever.
They could go J names. Any J name you have, that's the one here. So after that, though, she's a homemaker. She takes care of the kids. She takes care of the house. They live in a trailer in Petal. And she takes care of everything, takes care of the kids. It's a big deal. She's a member of the parent-teacher organization at the elementary school. She's a very involved mother. She's a homeroom mother. She's one of the kids, one of the ones that takes the kids in. And she's also a very prominent member of, not prominent like rich, but prominent like well-known and seen, member of the Crestview Baptist Church.
Okay.
So she's these are good upstanding people by the broadest of definitions that we do in wherever we go.
Warm Southern homemaking folks.
Nice people, not bothering anybody, fucking,
minding their business.
Fearing God and minding their business and having kids and staying out of people's shit. So they're fine. These people are fine. Yeah. They like I said, they live in a trailer. He owns a landscaping business.
Okay.
Does David. So that's how they make a living. And he hires a lot of people, young people mainly, college students. A lot of them are, because there's a college around there. So whoever to do, landscaping
able-bodied folks.
Able-bodied, young. It's tough work, especially in Mississippi.
Oh boy.
You go down there in that humidity and that heat.
I hear they do bush hogging.
They will hog the fuck out of a bush. They will hog it so hard. No, they go bush hogging.
Yeah,
they don't do bush hogging. They go bush hogging. Doing is something you have to do. Going is something you want to do. You want a bush hog. But that heat down there, that's a special kind of heat. That's that's fucking, if you've ever seen Biloxi Blues, the Matthew Broderick movie based on the Neil Simon play there, he says they're in Biloxi and he's like, this is hot. This is like Africa hot.
It's murderous.
This is insane. Like I've never felt heat like this before. It's hot and it's humid and it's heavy and
you can't breathe.
You can't breathe. So to do landscaping work out there, there's bugs and shit. They're all stuck to you because you're sweaty and it's disgusting. So the weather-wise,
their legs, like they land on you, and then their legs spread out and stick to your arms. They can't move,
and they're stuck too. They're asking, "Hey, little help,
blow on me,
little help, asshole.
Can
you knock me off?" And then they have to hope the weight of your sweat doesn't drag them right to the ground. They don't weigh anything. So he hires a lot of kids, basically, a lot of young guys to do work. Not a lot of young ladies doing outdoor landscaping work in Mississippi in the 90s.
Fear those women.
If you are, those are
tough chicks.
Those are tough chicks. That's a chick you want to hang out with. Yeah, she's cool and tough.
I bet she'll drink you under the table.
And she'll drink your ass under the table.
She'll show you how it's done.
Yeah, if you get a bush hogging chick, you hang on to her.
Not just drink. She'll show you how everything is done.
And you listen because she knows.
You're gonna learn a thing or two.
You're gonna fucking learn a lot. One of the people they hired is a young man named Larry Puckett. He is, by all accounts, a wonderful high school student, nice kid. He was the first Eagle Scout ever at his high school.
Wow.
He's the first kid at the high school to make Eagle Scout, because that takes usually
years.
Older.
Yeah,
it's older. So he did it at a young age and was honored at that. They had an award ceremony before he graduated. He's the only Eagle Scout.
That's only scouting every day.
And that's in the 90s. This is in 1995 this happened. So I was in school in the 90s. If a kid had a ceremony for being a fucking Eagle Scout in the 90s, I can't tell you the abuse he would have suffered. It would have been horrific. And
I've told you, my friend did
swift
it.
and
he was well aware that
the retribution was, you want to hide that shit as far. He had a ceremony in front of the school.
Fuck that.
That was let's have a ceremony. Let's all go to see the guy we're not going to have sex with. Let's all go. Everyone round up. No one have sex with him. Not that it's bad to be an Eagle Scout, but that's not like a hot thing to like teenage girls.
It's just those dudes generally aren't interested in it right now.
No.
We're busy. We're cutting trees and shit.
We're bush hogging, especially in the 90s. Like they're like fucking Eagle Scout. Like that's the opposite of what you were looking for. Right. So
thank you with that warm, amazing vagina. I've got a box knot to master.
Excuse me, hold on a minute here. Wait a second. I need to learn which berries are poisonous before I get into that, because that's way more important to my life than getting laid is.
For now.
Fucking
I got plenty of time for that.
Yeah, I had no not time. I was trying to find girls to spend any time with me.
I gotta get my handkerchief just right.
This is no. My ascot's askew. Wait. Hold on, my ascot's askew. So he has that. Everybody thought, his family all said he was a great kid, never gave them any fucking trouble. All the teachers loved him. He's just a fantastic kid, and he has a tough time. His name is Larry Matthew Puckett. He goes by Matt. Yeah. So we'll call him Matt, but
he does.
Matt Puckett, which is better than Larry Puckett.
You wait to take that first name until you're balding and everything's falling apart.
Larry Puckett sounds like a plumber. Yeah. That sounds like you're going to give me your card and tell me you can unclog my pipes. Like it's like
Matt sounds like a scout.
Matt Puckett sounds like a scouting kid right there. Yes. That's a kid who can tie a knot like nobody's business. When he's in his senior year of high school, his dad has a heart attack. which is rough. It's a young age for that sort of thing. And he's unable to work for a time because he had a heart attack and he's recovering. And so Matt, in his dad's absence or convalescence or whatever, he steps up and he continues to go to school and continues to do really well and continues his Eagle Scouting, but also works his ass off on the side at night on the weekends and gives his whole paycheck to his family.
Wow.
Just comes home and just says, "Here's my money," and just gives it to his family
and
to
now he has
contribute.
Super successful podcast.
Now he's got a
That's
great,
a hard-working bitch.
That's what I mean. He was just doing very, very well. Come October of 1995, he's scheduled to leave for the Navy in late October.
What?
So he signed up for the Navy. He's an Eagle Scout. He's another thing. Like if you look at just a good all-American, whatever the fuck kid, like that's who they would describe it as.
Epitome.
Yeah. If this kid gets hit by a car, there's sad music and pictures of his childhood on the local news.
What could have been?
Period. Yeah, that's the end of it. He's like, oh man, he had his whole life in front of him.
This is what you hope your boy turns out to be.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He had everything going for him in terms of what he wanted. I mean, in his wants, he wanted to be in the Navy. He liked the Boy Scouts. He liked the Navy. It's the same color uniform. He was like, okay, dark blue. I'm into this.
Yeah.
That's fine. This works. So Matt Puckett was employed by David Griffiths, and while he was employed there, obviously, before they leave for work, they would all congregate basically they'd meet at David Griffiths' trailer, and then they'd all leave in the trucks from there.
Got it.
Congregate there in the mornings before that, and so they got to know Matt Puckett a lot. They considered him a good employee, and even this was the work he was doing, landscaping work to help his family out afterwards. That's why he got the landscaping job. So this is, he went and did hard work too. He didn't just be like, I'll go work at the fucking movie theater and hand out good and plenties for a couple hours on the weekend. Yeah. He was breaking his fucking ass doing this shit. So they considered him a decent employee, and they actually, one of the letters of recommendation to become an Eagle Scout, apparently you need people to say how wonderful you are. I don't understand that.
I've never seen him punch an old lady.
They can't. Yeah, they can't. I seen him never push one down in the street neither. He never punched her, never pushed her down. It's not bad. It's not bad.
He grabs them right by the hand and just traipses them all over town.
I have two young sons. Yeah. He did not molest either one of them.
Not one of them.
Not one time. Not even once.
That's too big.
Not even by accident. Not even by accident. Now it's
he doubled the ante on the dicks in the house.
Never even
underage dick. Not for him.
Never rubbed up against him. Nothing like that. Nothing. So it's good. Good.
Taught him a hell of a box knot.
It's good. Well, actually, in reality, we have the letter here that he wrote. I actually do. It's fucking funny, but
I was reading it.
You were reading. That's good job, Jimmy. There you go. So moving on, the letter. The letter is written on Southern landscape stationery and everything from the company, and it says, quote, this is written by David, quote, during the past 2 years, I've had the opportunity to employ Larry Matthew Puckett. Matt is an aggressive employee and a quick learner with a very positive attitude. Along with these valuable skills, he also interacts well with his coworkers as well as the customers. Matt is a morally conscious young man who will definitely have a positive influence on everyone he comes in contact with and on everything he tries to accomplish. As Matt's employer and friend, I wish to highly recommend him for an Eagle Scout. If any further recommendations are needed, please feel free to contact me at the address or phone numbers listed on the above letterhead. Justin David Griffiths, owner.
Very nice.
So that is a great letter of recommendation.
What I like most about the letter is that they didn't try to guilt the scouts into his dad had a heart attack.
He's having a real tough time and putting food on the table
really
through his
stepped up.
Yeah, he's really stepped up. They didn't even say that because I feel like they know that anyway.
He's got enough character.
He's saying, this is what I know about him, man. This is what's been in front of me, and he's a goddamn good kid, and we all like him, and I trust him to come in my house and be around my kids and anything else. So fine guy here. Problem is, at some point he gets fired.
Oh, no.
Matt gets fired. Later on, the reason that David Griffiths gives for the firing is he said it was a complaint from a lady resident that he was following her on the walking track and scared her and made her uneasy.
I have to walk you across that. You wait.
Don't. I've been trained since I was 3 years old. If I see a lady walking, I'd take whatever's in her hand, carry it, and grab her by the damn arm. Now you can either go along with it voluntarily, or I can do it by force.
One way or another, I am accompanying you across that path.
One way or another, I'm going to carry your groceries now. It's happening. So give it up, lady.
Cough up the milk, bitch.
Cough it up. Let's go. Latch onto my arm, goddammit. I ain't fucking around now.
Fine. Don't touch. Hold the ascot.
Just
hold the ascot knot.
I'll tell you what. Just look at me.
Yeah.
You walk and I'll watch. How's that? And then I'll jump in the middle and help you, and I'll film it.
When you get to the yellow stripe, I'm going to give you a head start. Go. And then you get to that yellow stripe.
Yeah, that's hot now.
I'm going to catch you.
That's hot now. Now take the grocery. Oh, yeah. Grocery point. Like, yeah, that's good stuff right there. I'm going to take them groceries from you. Oh, yeah, that's the
So he got fired because...
He got fired for following a lady on a walking track, being a little bit creepy.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, we had to do that. So the David said he knew it was Matt because he got the lady into his truck and drove her by the area they were working, and she said it was that one there that did it. So David said he confronted Matt, and Matt denied it. He said that he never left the work area, he never went near her. She's nuts. I don't know what you're talking about, but he still fired him, and he said, "Look, I gotta go by the customer what they said."
Right.
Fired him. Said there was no. I
understand.
He just said, I get it. I deny it, but, fine, whatever. I mean, he's a busy guy. I would assume at this point he's got to find another fucking job quick. Like, well, I got to find something yesterday, so have a good one.
Go. I don't have time for this.
If I'm fired later.
Are you paying me through the rest of this chat?
Is that, yeah. Are we paying like through 4 o'clock, or did this end like 3:30 when this started?
'Cause I got to go.
I could leave tomorrow or now.
There's
or
a paper route that needs
something needs to happen. Yeah. So either way, if you're paying, I'm talking is what I'm saying. Or whatever else you need done now. I tie a mean box knot.
Watch out.
You got any old ladies need a walking? I'm your guy. So that ends up happening. And that was like, a couple, that was September, I believe, of then, or before that, July, I believe. I'm sorry, I mixed my months up there.
That's all right.
July of 1995, that ends up happening. So that's it. Some time goes by, and that's the end of it. Nothing goes on. They don't hear from him at all. And then October 14th, 1995. Now he's scheduled in a week. Matt is to leave for the Navy.
Got it.
95. Rhonda's mother, the Rhonda Hatton Griffiths here, her mother Nancy Hatton lives next door to them, which is not what you want.
No.
That is not an ideal situation at all.
Ever.
Even if you I like my in-laws. I don't want to live next door to anybody, really.
No.
I just don't want to see someone I know every time I walk outside.
I just
At one point I lived across the street from my in-laws.
No.
And it was a fucking disaster. And they're nice people. And it doesn't matter because every time I was, hi, hello, I'm trying to do this.
My mother-in-law lived 2 miles
What you
away,
doing over there?
And that was nice because, it's convenient
It's a buffer
dropping
zone.
them off.
Yeah,
it's nice.
That's
but
not bad.
I don't want that. So, no.
Yeah.
I need some space.
You need a little space.
I don't need you smelling your daughter on me. That's weird.
This is 150 to 175 feet from the Griffiths trailer.
No.
Is her trailer. That is not a long distance at all. That's very close by.
That's a trailer length.
That's a trailer. You can shout shit out the window and you'll just yell shit back, and you don't even have to yell that loud. That's just like, hey, Rhonda, what, Mom? That's way close. And through a trailer, that's no problem.
Yeah.
You could be doing anything and hear that shit.
Heard Mr. Griffiths was doing it right last night. That's what I heard.
They don't even leave the trailer, go to the window to talk, probably. They're just sitting in the living room. Rhonda, what? Back and forth, man. Jesus Christ. So on this day, on October 14th, Nancy Hatton, Rhonda's mother, had been helping the boys, helping Jeffrey and Justin put up Halloween decorations in the yard. They're 7 and 5 years old at this point, if you don't remember when they were born. So they're 7 and 5. She helped them put up Halloween stuff in the yard. Again, nice. Can't get any sweeter than that. The whole
Friendly.
thing with little kids with their grandma putting up decorations. That's beautiful. Apparently, Rhonda wasn't feeling well that day. She had a headache and she had a bunch of sinus problems going on. It's October. Yeah. Seasons change. I don't know. She had some sinus issues and a sinus headache, and so she didn't come out and help out with the decorations. Later on, in that afternoon, a few hours later, Nancy Hatton, the mother, was in her front yard. She heard what she describes as a scream and a thud come from the trailer that Rhonda and David live in. And so Mrs. Hatton here, the elder Hatton, Elder Hatton, Nancy Hatton, she runs inside back to her trailer and calls her daughter's trailer. It's right there. You could have just went there.
Go bang on the door.
I don't understand why she did that. That's really strange to me. But she does. Maybe she just also too. She doesn't know. Maybe she doesn't want to intrude. I don't know what kind of territory, what kind of boundaries they've put up in the relationship.
It's very interesting.
It is, but she might have said, "Hey, don't just fucking knock on my door unannounced, please.
Right.
It's bad enough we live 150 feet away. Call me before you come over."
Even an emergency. If you hear a gunshot, don't you dare come in my house.
Never. If you see smoke coming out, you walk the other way.
You better go
turn
call
your
me.
head. Yeah, just wet down your trailer and turn around. Spray it down with the hose. Now, this is, I don't know why she just didn't go, Rhonda,
right.
It's a fucking trailer that's right there. But instead, she goes inside and calls the trailer, I suppose, to be polite. Because it wasn't a gunshot. She heard a thud and a scream. So, I mean, that could have been dropped something. Shit. Or who the fuck knows? So she calls the trailer. She said the phone rang 4 or 5 times, but nobody answered. Yeah. So she's like, God damn it. She hangs up and waits a second, picks it back up, dials again. Yeah. Makes sense. Nobody answers again. Now she goes out and she's like, what the fuck is going on? Nobody. I know she's in there. Heard her scream.
Heard it.
Maybe she fell and hurt herself, and that was the thing. So, let me go check on her. Yeah. So she marches out and heads over to the trailer next door. As she gets closer to the trailer, as she's walking up, she sees David Griffiths, Rhonda's husband, obviously her son-in-law, and Justin and Jeffrey driving up to the trailer in his truck. He's got a pickup truck. He's driving up. Of course, he just runs a landscaping company. He has an Alfa Romeo. It's very. He puts pine needles and bougainvillea clippings and all.
Aston Martin.
Just right on top of it, and just holds his arm out on top.
Ruining
of it.
The clear coat.
Nobody's proud. Oh, fuck the clear coat. It's gone, baby. It's gone, babe. He goes.
Ass Aston Martin.
He goes primer gray Aston Martin. That's how he gets down, man. He had been hauling pine straw all day, which sounds
pine straw.
Is that
like pine needles?
I believe it's pine needles.
Should be, right?
I don't know if that's some for kindling. I don't know what the purpose of hauling that is.
Cleaning it out because it's a fire hazard. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons, I suppose.
Where are you hauling it to? Is my question. Are you burning it? Maybe you're burning it. That's possible. You might be burning it.
That's some smoky shit.
Anybody who does landscaping in the South, let us know what your pine needle policies are. Your pine, whatever
pine straw.
Your pine straw policy is. Apparently, this was his last load. That's why he took the boys for the last load. He'd been going back and forth. He grabbed the boys, went doing his last load.
One of you boys can steer.
One of you boys can steer.
Right.
Other one hold my beer.
Right.
That's how.
One of them get me empties. Re-beer me.
Re-beer.
Take these empties back to the cooler.
That's how that works.
Through the back window.
I've
done that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I am through and through. Like I don't claim to be. I don't think there's much of a trophy for the most white trash person on earth. But if there is one, I'd like to have it.
Well, you got to
be. It's made of aluminum.
Let me tell you something.
That.
And you got to be. It's in the shape of a bass because you need to be a bass master first. That's the thing, Jimmy.
I got to get back to master.
Once you master that bass, you got that credential to your list. Then we can consider it. Until then, I'm sorry, you don't even have a mustache. We're not going to have talk.
There are at least 3-4 Dodge Rams running around this country that I've crawled through your back window. To get beers.
That's okay
for my monster of a stepdad.
Did you have to move the shotgun from the rack first to get through the back window? See, he wasn't
man enough to have a gun.
That's the thing, though. That would you're there. Yeah. You're middle tier, though.
You got to move 30-06.
If you moved a shotgun and had mastered a bass, then I would say, you know what, Jimmy, you're in the running at least. You're going to be in the final 4.
Do that bronze PBR can.
You can do it, but at this point, I'm sorry, I can't give it to you. You're just.
I got work to do.
It's very average at this point. Very average white trashery. I'm sorry. Very, very sorry. So she sees them driving up, him driving up with his last load of pine straw and maybe to burn, and his 2 kids in the car. There was already a blue truck parked in the vacant lot beside the residence. There's like trailer, and then no trailer, vacant lot. There's a blue pickup truck parked there in that vacant lot that Nancy sees. Now, Nancy enters the trailer. Now, keep in mind, David and kids are still outside in the truck. She walks up, I assume waves to them and beelines it for the trailer.
Right.
So she walks up. She enters the trailer at the kitchen/dining room area and calls for Rhonda, and nobody answers. Okay. She says, Rhonda, nobody there. So then out of nowhere, Matt Puckett pops up from the hallway and into the dining room area. So out of nowhere, there's this kid standing there. He's 18 years old at this point, and he's just this kid. And Nancy probably doesn't know who the fuck he is, and maybe slightly recognizes him from seeing him in the yard or something. But this isn't like, my nephew's standing here or something. So he's standing there, and not only is he standing there, but he raises a club that he's holding in his hand up over his head and starts walking toward Nancy.
Oh no!
So this is like some horror movie shit. Like he literally lifted it up and then walked over to her, like stalked over to her, like Michael Myers or something, would hold his knife up.
Just missing a weird mask.
Yeah, very deliberate. This is very deliberate actions. He walks over toward her. She starts backing away, obviously. At this point, Jeffrey, the son, he enters the house. He pops up, followed with his son, with his dad right behind him, and then Justin was still outside, the other kid. I believe Justin is the 7-year-old, Jeffrey's the 5-year-old.
Got it.
So that's the father, David, and his son, Jeffrey, walk into the house, and at that point, Nancy took the children. She saw the children. She just grabbed the children and ran out the door and took them to her house. Get the children in the fuck out of here. I don't know what's happening, but the kids don't need to be here for it, whatever the fuck it is. Right. Smart. So she takes the children, runs to her house, locks the boys in the bathroom, go in here, locks the door, and calls 911.
Good.
Fucking smart. So far, everything she's done is correct at this point. No, that's fine. She's done nothing wrong.
I'm just thinking about what's going on next door.
This is going to get weird real quick here. 911 calls received at 5:01 p.m. And Nancy was placed on hold. Because this is a small town. There's not a huge 911
system. 3 calls,
system.
it clogs up the system.
3, try 2. She's put on hold because there's a call from next door from David calling.
Oh, great.
So this is fucking crazy. So she's on hold with 911, which is insane, waiting. Oh, can you hold on a second? No, I can't. This is 911, kind of an emergency. Why is their emergency more important than my emergency? It's like you're in the drive-thru and you're like, I see people at the counter getting fucking shit right now. Why am I still sitting here?
Meanwhile, tell me what the other emergency is, because if it's the same one, let that man deal with what's over there, and I'll give you all the information.
I'll tell you what. Your emergency ain't got nothing to do with the feller at David, doesn't it? You know David?
You got a call about a club. Is that the one? Is that the same one?
Guy with pine straw. If you got pine straw, if you hear, he's your guy. That's what he told me on the phone just now. It was a very odd segue from emergency. He said, if you got pine straw, I can burn it for you. And I was like, okay, is that your emergency? Very weird.
Hear anything about the Griffiths house? That's the one I'm calling about. So hang the fuck up.
Hold up.
Let's chat.
So she's placed on hold. Now the son, he saw, this poor kid walks in and sees this guy with a fucking club, like 2 feet from his grandmother, holding a club over his head, which is absolutely batshit. Now David, when he walks in, he says he sees Puckett wearing army type coveralls, is what he calls it. So he's got like an army kind of suit on. The club that he's holding over his head has blood and a white substance on it, which is a bad fucking sign. At that point, some white organic looking substance,
like foam,
like we'll find out, and blood on it. David asks a super relevant question at this point. He says, "What are you doing in my house?" Which is as good of a question as you could fucking ask right then. Puckett has an answer. Puckett gives a Joe Pesci Goodfellas answer here, and he says he hit a deer on the road, and he came to get David's help with it because he was near his house. So he said, I was near here, and I hit a deer. I didn't know what else to do, so I came here to see if you would help me out and to use your phone quick, and I figured I would bring my bloody deer club with him.
Right. It wasn't dead, so I just beat the living shit out of it.
You got to put it out of its misery. It's a sin, I got to hack it off. That's stuck in the grill.
I'm an Eagle Scout,
it's a sin.
I got my
you know how it goes.
My put the deer out of its misery badge today.
My problem was my deer clubbing badge. I was late on it. They let me graduate without it, but my deer clubbing badge was really good, so I had to look for one, hit it with my car, and then club it to death because they're fast.
You've definitely seen that badge on me. I was going for number 2.
This was So that's what he says. David calls out for Rhonda. Rhonda, where are you? And gets no answer back. So that's unsettling. But Matt tells David that Rhonda's not there. He says Rhonda's over at her mother's house. So, that's, I just popped up, and how the fuck would you know that she's over there? Yeah. And why would you be holding a club over her mother if she's over at her house? Okay. The whole thing is very fucking confusing. So David's a hell of an investigator here. Why are you in my house? Yeah. Second question, also excessively relevant. Why is there a blood on that club you're holding over your head like a weapon? Yeah. And he indicated that it was blood from the deer. He said, I had to put it out. It's a sin, I gotta leave it there. I gotta hack it off.
You gotta end it.
I'm gonna borrow this knife. I was like, all right, Ma. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, shame on you.
How dare you?
Watch Goodfellas. Jesus Christ, you fucking asshole.
And you're gonna hate me for it, but it's better than fucking Godfather.
Well, it's more fun.
I love it.
It's hilarious.
I love
also.
it.
It's got all that, and it's hilarious.
It's so good.
And it's got it's fucking great.
Henry.
So anyway, and Henry. So David, at that point, imagine David standing there, guy with a club. Your wife's not there. He was about to hit your mother-in-law in the head with a club. It's bloody, and he's saying, "I came here because there's a deer." Right. So David goes, "Sure, there's a deer," as he's picking up the phone and dialing 911, going, "Oh, deer, no hello," and that's when Nancy's put on hold next door. Okay. So all this happens simultaneously. His call was received 12 seconds after her call. Okay. It's like 5:01 and 7 seconds or some shit. David's call, though, is terminated in about 3 minutes. And at some point during this whole thing, David and Matt end up struggling physically while he's on the phone with 911 and everything. And David ends up prying the club away from Matt. He actually gets it away from him because, he's a few years older. Right. He's only like 20. He's not even 30 yet, I don't think. But still, this kid's 18. Right. There's a difference between 30 and 18 physically. There's a reason why they don't let 18-year-olds play in the NFL because a 23-year-old and an 18-year-old are way different physically, especially athletic ones.
A damn near 30-year-old will generally and most times beat the living shit out of an 18-year-old
pretty much, unless there's obvious physical differences or something. But if all else is even, I'm taking the guy with he's way more angry. That's the thing. The world has kicked him in the dick multiple times, whereas this kid has had no dick kickings. So I'm taking the angrier.
And not just
how much rage that man has to take out? 2 kids and a wife living in a fucking trailer hauling pine straw.
Right next door to mom?
Hauling pine straw? Holy, she will rip your head from your fucking shoulders, that man. He has got rage happening.
He's a business
you don't want
owner.
To fight
That's
him.
a mad man.
You don't want to fight him. So, most dangerous man going. A dad on the edge. So he's struggling. He gets the club, and then David also tries to keep Matt in the trailer while he's talking to the police. Like, are they on their way? I'm trying to fucking, box this guy out and keep him out of my trailer, and there's multiple exits and all that sort of shit. So at one point, Puckett takes off and runs toward the other door. Matt does. As he's running for the door, David swings the club at him and clocks him on the shoulder with it at least, and knocks him a good knock, but it doesn't stop him from running. No. You have escaping adrenaline.
Right.
He escapes. Matt runs out the door. As he runs out the door, David throws the club at him behind him. So he's trying to inflict whatever he can.
That last grasp.
Jerk. That's a totally dick. So
Bill Murray in Stripes throwing that 2x4 at his own car that they're repossessing.
Yeah.
It's just last ditch effort of showing any sort of I've given up.
The saddest thing to me is that perfectly good pizza took the brunt of everything. Every time I watch that, I go, A, I want pizza, and B, fuck, that's so sad. Would you pick the pebbles out of it? Right. Would you? Probably not. You probably can you salvage any of it?
Probably $11 pizza that you just wasted.
Back then it was probably $6, and it was like 1980. Right. Jesus Christ,
just a bummer.
$6 pizza. That's tough, man. Bill Murray was in a tight spot. So he ends up, like I said, swings and throws the club at him. It's at this moment that David, he walked into, he just expected to walk into a normal day. Right. He walks into, dude I haven't seen that I fired is here for some reason. He's got a club. He's holding it over my mother-in-law. Holy shit, my kids are here. Right. She got them out of here. I just struggled with this guy, called 911. So I assume the moment David walked in, he never took his eyes off of Matt for a second. How could you? He's a lunatic with a club in your house. Right. Or a possible lunatic in a club with a club. If you see him holding it over your mother-in-law, you assume he's there for nefarious reasons. Yeah. So the deer story doesn't hold up at that point. No. So he didn't take an assessment of the room. He didn't do anything. He just saw Matt, wrestled with him, did the whole deal. Once Matt runs out, he turns around and looks around the room and starts thinking, where's Rhonda? Yeah. Obviously, doesn't believe the next door story, and turns around and actually finds her there. She was there the whole time in the living room. He never saw her.
Oh, in the living room.
She's in the living room. She's in a large pool of blood next to the couch in the living room. So she's on the floor in the living room. So unless he looked down and to the side, he wouldn't have seen her. Okay. He was just looking at Matt the whole time. And she is obviously dead. She's wearing a T-shirt, and the only other thing she had on was a sock on her left foot.
Fuck.
That was it, just a T-shirt. She has several gashes on the back of her head. When they find her, she has other injuries to her head, her back, her chest, a deep laceration, and 3 to 4 hesitation marks on her neck is what they call it on the autopsy. She's also bleeding from her vagina because she has been sexually assaulted with a club, with a like an axe handle type of implement, and also beaten with a blunt object that fits that description as well.
God, Jesus.
Horrible. She's bleeding there. She has several defensive wounds on her hands, arms, and elbows. This didn't happen quickly, as you know. If you're beat with a wooden club, it's not the quickest death. Right. She died as a result of the beating injuries. Cause of death is cranial cerebral trauma, and secondary to blunt force trauma. So that's the official here. And a wooden stick / club with blood all over it was recovered right outside the trailer.
As a husband, you got to think, I just threw a weapon that was... the atrocity that was
done.
Oh my God!
This is the fucking horror here.
Touching it.
The horror
here.
He
man.
touched it. He hit the guy with it, and he has to think. I actually hit him. I could have fucking hit him more. I could have fucking crushed his. I should have. If only I
strangled the life out of that motherfucker.
If only I fucking that's the thing. He didn't really know what was going on, so he didn't struggle. He didn't make it like I'm going to get this club and beat you till you can't move till the cops get here.
Hold you.
If he saw his wife, he probably would have done. I'm sure if he got that club away from him, it would have been, I'm going to break every fucking bone in your body, and they're going to find you, twisted and you're, backwards. That's not, you're going to be in the swamp when I'm done with you. I'm going to burn you with the pine straw. But he didn't even know this. It's fucking horrible, man. The medical examiner found that the wound pattern was consistent. Her wound pattern and Puckett's wound on his back later on are consistent.
Perfect.
With the same, but they're consistent. It's not, it's just a blunt object. It could be anything. So once Matt exits the trailer, David, what he does is, this is before he finds his wife, by the way. We had to tell you what happened to her. I didn't want to leave everybody hanging. Where the fuck is Rhonda? But once Matt leaves the trailer, David enters the living room and reaches for his pistol that's usually in a gun cabinet just to the left of the living room door, but the pistol wasn't there.
Oh, fuck.
That's where he still hadn't seen his wife at this point. Then he ran into the bedroom to get a rifle out of the bedroom closet in case this fucking lunatic, because he didn't know if this guy was going to his car to get a weapon or something. Who the hell knows? They don't know why he's there. It's crazy. So the bedroom is straight ahead, and you run out, and he exited the bedroom, ran into the living room, and that's when he saw her on the floor, because he had a long shot view of the whole thing and not just a crazy, because that whole scene seems like if you're watching a TV show, the POV cam that's like shaky and it's like that sort of thing. The whole thing's got to be just a blur. So
I'm sorry,
man. No, it's horrible.
You're saying I get that that's point of view, Cam, and it could be anything.
You're thinking porn. Obviously porn. Yeah. I've made films, and I've made films, and that's just POV. That's from a character's POV.
I've watched films,
not from the fucking POV.
That's the only POV I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I've seen it in movies.
Yeah.
But they don't call it that.
No, well, they do.
I mean, it doesn't label it right on the screen.
Whereas in porn, they do label it right there on the screen.
Right on the click.
Right there.
You have to actually click known. POV.
You know. So, Jesus Christ.
I'm a degenerate.
Yeah, you are. That's fine. Well, who the fuck isn't, honestly? What are we talking about
here?
That's a good
point.
You putting yourself in the box? We're all in the box, too. What the fuck, man?
I'm just closing the lid around me.
As he finds his wife, this is when he calls 911 again to tell the police, oh, by the way, it's more than we thought. This isn't just, hey, some guy broke in my house. This is my wife is in a pool of blood. Right. Can you get here? So this is 5:05. They received this next call. So it took him a minute to struggle, look for the gun, go in the bedroom, get the other rifle, and come back after he hung up from the first call. It was terminated in about 6 minutes. That's when the police got there. They arrived there, police, sheriff's deputies, and paramedics. Also, when they do a little investigation here, they find out that another former employee another employer of Matt's said that a guy named Ray Watkins, he says that right before this murder in the last couple weeks, a maul handle was just like an axe. Maul, it's like a big wooden axe for people who don't know.
It's the long one.
Yeah, the long one was broken at his work site, and Watkins had the maul handle for several years. He said between 7 and 10 years, and he thought that it was the same one that he saw Matt have in his truck on the work site several times.
Interesting.
And he thinks that's the same weapon later when they ask around to see where he might have got this and try to connect dots. So they do the investigation here of where he was. Matt was last seen around 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon at the same place where David was collecting pine straw. He was seen passing there. He has a blue 4x4-wheel drive truck that was also seen passing the Griffiths, residence at about 4:41 p.m. So it was seen in that neighborhood, and then the mother comes over 20 minutes later. So in 20 minutes, he had time to do all of this here. So that's what they find out. Now, 2 days later, they find Matt's truck in a wooded area in Perry County, which is the next county over. So they find the truck there abandoned. So they're like, that's an interesting
development.
That's a good development there. And then they end up finding Matt near his mother's home in Perry County. So he ditched his truck and hung out at his mother's house in the woods. This is what he did. He's like, I'm gonna live in the woods now.
The dismount.
I live in the woods forever now.
That's it.
That's how it works. If you need me, you just address everything to the woods, Matt's house, and then they all know, and they just bring it to me.
The friendliest woods.
The squirrels will bring it to me. That's how it works. I have a real Snow White situation going on with all the animals now, and birds chirp around my head.
The sparrows bring me axe handles.
Yeah, so apparently, when they went looking for him, they brought a fuckload of cops because this is a guy who's a murder suspect. So they don't just bring like one guy going, we just want to have a chat with you. They brought down the thunder here. So Puckett, apparently, Matt commented to his mother that, quote, this is a lot of law enforcement for someone who just committed a burglary. So he's saying, he's starting the story of, I just broke in and stole shit. I don't know what you're talking about. They find a duffel bag in the house containing various items, including a pair of coveralls, including just various items that he stole from the house, little things. Now they have coveralls that he's wearing at the time of the arrest, but they don't know if that's the same coveralls, obviously. But he's wearing coveralls. He's last seen in coveralls. They're going, I don't know how many pairs of coveralls this fucking guy has.
May or may not be not washing them.
Who knows? Yeah, who this guy doesn't. Maybe he's an Eagle Scout. Maybe he takes it out, washes it against a metal base, like a board, like old timey and everything.
Like Cinderella.
You don't know, like Cinderella or Snow White. I'm a princess. That's the bottom line here. It's what y'all don't understand about me is I'm a princess. Now,
I don't know, wooden bucket. Why can't I say wooden bucket?
I got a wood bucket. So what does he say once he's apprehended? Because you got to have something to say here. A Forest County Sheriff's Office investigator said that once he gets into the jail, once they get him back to the station between 5 and 6 p.m. on the 16th of October, he reads Matt his Miranda rights, and he said at that point he didn't try to obtain a statement from Matt, but Matt made voluntary statements regarding the whole thing. He said that the cop says, at the time he was telling me that that the way he was caught or apprehended was through the use of a helicopter. He was kind of upset with himself that he didn't lay still enough in the woods, and that the reason he came out was because a helicopter had he knew that he had been spotted, so he might as well come out.
Okay.
That's what the guy said. And those pauses and stutters are in the thing. Like, he said, and then he changes the sentence. That wasn't me reading poorly. Okay. That was the actual sentence. Because a helicopter had its hyphen, he knew he had been spotted. So I didn't fucking...
That's the police.
I didn't just trail off and do that.
That's the guy that's protecting you.
Yeah. So the cop said he asked Matt if he got cold staying in the woods for a couple days, and how he survived there for a couple days. And Matt said that he's an Eagle Scout. This is what he's I've been training for this forever. He said that he picked cotton and put it in his boots to keep his feet warm, which is apparently an Eagle Scout
fascinating thing.
Southern trick, I guess. It's hard to do that in Michigan. Yeah, but how much, where's the cotton fields? Yeah. I don't know. That way, not here.
But how much room have you got extra in your shoes? Because
I don't know. Stuff it all in there. A lot, apparently.
How loose of a shoe do you buy?
I guess if you really, I don't fucking know.
That's a fascinating, interesting thing.
He said he knew what roots to eat, so he's out there eating roots. And that the first night being out, he stayed in a field and pulled 2 bales of hay together and stayed between the bales of hay. And the next night, he slept in the loft of a barn. Okay. So then he found a barn after that. So then at about 10 p.m., they again advised him of more Miranda rights. They do this every once in a while. You still know you got your rights read, right? When they're going to talk to you.
You know you don't have to do this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Go on, boy.
You know that this isn't like, well, I'm listening. I'm going to listen if you're going to talk. Now, I ain't going to be rude. I draw the line at being rude now. I will not be rude to a prisoner. I will not be rude to a prisoner. So this other police officer said that a lot of police officers that Matt said that he was surprised all those cops were looking for someone who just committed burglary, and he said that his vehicle was in the wooded area because it ran hot and he parked it there. Okay. It was running hot. I had to pull over and just park it. I wasn't hiding it. I just parked. You just park in the woods when it runs hot. That's what I do. I don't know what you do. So, and also too, if you're on the lam for a burglary, you don't hide out in the woods. No. You don't sleep in the woods. No. You fucking do your normal shit. It's burglary. You didn't fucking, kill the queen. Relax. So, he said at this point, he voluntarily says, Matt does, that he went to the residence to break into it and to steal money to pay a truck note. So he had a car payment due, and now he's still making payments on a car that runs hot and has to be pulled over.
Yeah, what kind of shit?
It should be under warranty. Right. You take that fucker in. No, never mind parking it. Get your shit together, Matt.
He bought it from one of those buy here, pay here.
I think he did. Yeah, as a buy here, pay here thing.
Jalopy Jungle or
some more shit like that. He said that the cop said that Matt said he didn't kill anyone, and he didn't want to. And once they said, "Did you kill her?" He said, "No, I robbed the shit out of him, and I came there to rob him." But he said, "I didn't kill anybody, but that's all I'm going to say about it. I want any more killing talk. I need to have an attorney present."
Good story.
So not a bad deal. So Matt, like I said, he doesn't deny being at the trailer at the time of the murder. This is what later on when he talks again.
That is real damn fascinating.
He says, No, I was there. Yeah. Okay. Here's what happened. Now, here's the real story. Okay. I came there to rob the place, as one does, as one want to do. I came to just do a little robbery. I brought a crumb cake in case Rhonda was home just to be friendly, but I was going to rob her. Rob the place blind. As I was robbing the place, the problem was I planned to burglarize it. He said the idea to burglarize it just popped in his head as he drove by the Griffiths house. Mm-hmm. He was driving by and he just went, I should rob that. And pulled over.
Thinking about all the bills I got. And
nope. No planning.
Payment. How am I going to pay that? Yeah. Look at that. There is a house right there.
He didn't even say I drove to the end of the street, thought about it for a minute, turned around. He literally said I thought about it and pulled in the vacant lot next to it and decided that he was going to rob the place.
He is the guy that they target with all the shit that they put right next to the register. He's about the most impulsive motherfucker on earth.
Oh, yeah.
Just see a place and be like, that's the one.
That's the one. So, pull right. Actually, it wouldn't go because it's probably a dirt road. Yeah, Gravel and dirt. We both have
E-brake slide right into the party section.
Right into the vacant trailer lot, which is probably gravel.
He's the guy that they put the shower curtain rings next to the cash register, and he's got a fucking cart full of them.
Many of them just at home. Why do I keep buying these? I only got one shower, and I don't even use it.
I got to get to a psychiatrist and fix this impulsive shit.
I just use the hose.
Those impulsive motherfuckers.
I buy tampons if they're up there. I don't know why. I just do it. They're right there. I can't help it.
You know how many douches, do you know how much strawberry douche I have under the sink?
So sure, I don't feel fresh, but that ain't helping. So he says he pulled in there and put his coveralls on.
I use it like a neti pot.
Yeah, that's how I do it. Same thing. So he puts his coveralls on. Matt said he saw Rhonda's car at the trailer, but he said he went to the door anyway and knocked. I said, worth the shot, I'll knock on the door. He said Rhonda let him in and they began to talk. He said at this point that Matt says he saw the stick, the club, whatever, lying on the living room floor. So he said that was just lying on the floor, which normally people with small children leave axe handles around the living room floor, right, especially when it's a good homemaker that, someone who actually gives a shit about their kids. This isn't a house where no one cares and she's out doing meth. Like
he had no thoughts about it being there?
They eat dinner together at night and they, there's toys on the floor and that sort of shit. Not an axe handle. He said at this point, okay. This is his next statement. He says that at that point they started to talk. He saw the axe handle, but then they started to talk and he and Rhonda began kissing. This is his story now.
Hold on. So
he is now okay. Now they start making out, hot and heavy.
Yeah.
Okay. This is his story. I went there to rob the place, and it's so weird when sometimes you go to rob and you get lucky. You know how that works. You know how that goes. How many fucking porns start like that? I came to rob the place, and then she wanted dick. So
these
here I am.
Stories always start with a POV camera.
Absolutely, yeah, just the chick in the door.
So did he pick the axe handle up at this point?
No. He said he just saw it. He just saw, hey, there's an axe handle.
Now there's a lady, and we're making out.
Mental note of an axe handle. Okay. And he said after some conversation, he's a fast worker. Yeah. He just came in, and within minutes they were kissing on the couch. Not too shabby. And then he said that he began acting out his sexual fantasy of undressing a woman while he remained fully clothed. That's his fantasy, which is pretty fucking lame fantasy, I gotta say. Then what? Then what happens? Okay.
At some point, you gotta take some shit off too.
What are we doing here? I don't understand it. Then he comes in his pants. What happens? I don't.
He's an Eagle Scout, James.
That's what I'm saying. Then he comes in his pants.
He's been done for minutes.
He sees that. Yeah, he's been done when he knocked on the door and she said, "Come on in." He said, "That's one." Shit.
And then he touched her, and that's two.
So this guy, he says that, fuck, man. Sorry this has nothing to do with Rhonda, this poor woman.
This is just a ridiculous story.
This guy's an asshole, is what we're saying. So they began kissing, and then he says he begins acting out this sexual fantasy. And then he said that Rhonda saw her mother approaching the trailer and grabbed her clothes and ran into the bedroom. She said, grabbed her clothes. No, sorry, I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at the next part. Grabbed her clothes and ran into the bedroom. As she's running, she told Matt to get rid of her mother. Get rid of her. So his idea is he said he ran into the dining room area and picked up the stick and decided to scare her away with the club. That's how he decided to get rid of her. Not, hi, I'm doing some work. Rhonda's in there. Hi, Mom, I'll be over in 10 minutes. I'm fucking getting ready or something. And okay, bye. He says, how do I get rid? Like there's a fucking bear approaching in the yard or something.
You got to get tall and scare
This is not a clever plan of how to get rid of somebody. This is as base as it gets. How do I get rid of her? I'll scare her away with a club. That'll do it.
I got the gods must be crazy, this woman.
What
and
the
stack it on
fuck, man.
And get taller than her.
What is going on? That's his plan. That's what he's telling the police with a straight face.
So his idea is to scare her away that I'm dangerous and I'm in here crazy? Is that what it is?
Crazy person.
Go away.
Which will make her go away,
yeah,
but then probably call the police. That's the problem. And if last thing you want while you're fucking is the cops knocking at the door to make sure to do a welfare check. That's probably not the best thing.
An Eagle Scout with a pants full of jizz.
So, yeah, which he's got a double shot at this point, probably. Once he had your clothes off. So He said that he stated that after Nancy, the mother, fled with the children, that at this point David then stepped into the house because then he's got to account for the timeline of her getting there and the kids and him getting there because everybody has the same story. So he says
this story has too many alive people.
Oh, there's a lot. Well, Well, we're getting to that.
Okay.
He says at that point David stepped in. Now the two kids are gone with the mother, and it's just the three of them in the trailer. He said at this point David steps in and accuses Rhonda of sleeping with Matt. How fucking dare you?
Yeah.
You fucking whore! You're sleeping with Matt.
Right.
He gets super fucking angry, and what he does is he grabs the stick out of Matt's hand and begins beating his wife mercilessly with it.
Wow.
He grabs it away from the man who he thinks his wife is having an affair. Fully clothed man in coveralls, by the way. Coveralls even.
Yeah.
All is covered. And just says, give me that, and beats his wife unmercifully right in front of Matt. Right in front of Matt. He said after beating his wife, Matt tried to get out of there, say, oh my God, I was scared for my life, but David tried to tackle him and keep him in the trailer while he was, and then call 911 because David was calling 911 trying to blame it on Matt. And Matt's like, no, I got to get out of here. Oh my God. And
This is a great story.
This is not a bad, this is
a
crazy.
Shit story, but it's believable.
So he said from there, this is what I mean. He's very A to B. Yeah. I need to scare her. Yep. I need to get rid of her. I know what would make someone leave a place. If they're scared, I'll grab a club and scare. Yeah. Also, he says at this point, he's afraid of David. So he gets in his truck and just drives to the woods and stays there for a couple days out of fear of David.
Not a bad story.
Total A to B. Yeah. I was scared of him. I went and ran and hid in the woods, which is like what a child would do.
On a scale of 1 to 10 from a story
which he's 18 years old.
From a suspected murderer, pretty fucking solid.
It's better than most.
Yeah,
we'll say that.
Yeah.
It's better.
It covers all bases.
I wouldn't say it's plausible, but he put it together. Problem is, he doesn't put it together. This isn't sitting at the police station. Oh. This is later on.
Oh, no.
After he spoke to his lawyer, and they were like, "How do we fit this into this box?"
Yeah.
Fuck. If he said this immediately upon being like, if the cops came and he was still at the trailer and that was his story, they might go, "We got to look into this.
Right.
This could be anything."
Arrest them both.
Yeah, he is hit with the club,
right,
and the wife is dead, and then this guy just threw the club at him. Let's put the cuffs on David quick and figure it out what's going on, and then they could go backwards from there and talk to the mother-in-law and find out what happens. But that's not what happened.
No.
He came up with this after meeting with attorneys and talking to everybody else. So yeah, he said the whole thing took 4 or 5 minutes. He got there. From the time he got there to the time he was running out of the trailer was 4 or 5 minutes. So he got there, somehow got fucking macked on Rhonda hard, got her naked in under 5 minutes, and then struggled watched this man beat his wife to death, then struggled with him all in 5 minutes, which is amazing.
Listen, I'm an experienced lovemaker, and it has taken me all night to not get laid before. So this is very impressive.
This is excessively impressive. So Matt says that also that the mall handle that they have, he says that it's not the one that not the Ray Watkins mall handle. He's like, that's not that one. I know that mall handle, and that's not the same one. Right. So they indict him, obviously. Puckett here. He's indicted in January of '96 in Forest County, Mississippi. It's for capital murder. If you don't know what that means they're going for the death penalty on this bad boy.
That's Southern justice.
That's you sexually assault and murder a mother of two with a fucking axe handle.
There's gonna be some consequences.
There's gonna be consequences there, and especially in this way. This was fucking brutal and senseless. That's the other problem.
Yeah.
This is not needed whatsoever.
They're gonna show you a new knot that you don't know how to tie.
You don't know anything about that.
Snake chain.
This is wow.
The snake chain goes around your neck, and then a man in a hood kicks a stool out from underneath.
They have lethal injection there at this point, but there's also that. So he's in deep shit. This is while engaged in the commission of a sexual battery. Again, also those two things together, not great. So they have he's indicted there right away. It is they move the venue. It's the venue is transferred to Biloxi.
Okay.
So change of venue, which is, it's a small area, and that, as you can imagine, got a little bit of local pub.
Sure.
Local Eagle Scout murders mother of 2 young children, and it's crazy. That's a pretty interesting story.
This is the Southern OJ.
It's the Southern OJ. He was except he just hid in the woods.
Right.
OJ just kept driving. This guy said, "I'll just hide in the woods.
I'm gonna stop her."
If OJ's Bronco ran hot, that's what would have happened to him. That's the problem. OJ's Bronco was his radiator was in great shape. Was the issue.
Al Collins would have pulled that shit under an overpass and parked.
We gotta hide in the woods, Juice. Juice, we're gonna blend in with the homeless society and the population.
We're gonna pull into Sherman Oaks and pull this shit over.
It's all right.
It's running hot.
Juice. It's all right. We're gonna hide in the backyards of Brentwood. No one will find us.
Your Bronco's running lean.
It's running lean. So late 96 is this trial as it's occurring here. The prosecutors right away, what ends up happening, and he ends up appealing this. We'll talk about this later, but this becomes a big deal that every black juror in the pool of prospective jurors was struck.
Really?
Every black juror. Now we'll talk about how many that is. There's 112 total from the jury pool and 11 black people out of 112.
Sounds about right compared to the population.
It's about 10%. Yeah. It's exactly 10% of the population. Right. So it's actually represented. Now, out of the 11, 6 were excused for cause. That's their own thing. Yeah. 1 was excused for medical reasons, and 5 were excused based on their indication that they could not impose the death penalty under any circumstances. None. So they sweep them out right away. That's kind of a double whatever. And then 6 were excused for cause. So there were only 5 remaining black jurors in the jury pool prior to the exercise of the challenges, happening from the. So there's only 5 to begin with, right. And they use 4. The state uses 4 of their strikes against black jurors and uses 8 against white jurors. So that all seems.
It seems on the up and up.
It all seems whatever. It's if it's slanted, I don't know, but he's white and she's white, so it really doesn't fucking matter.
Who gives a shit what the race makeup is?
Other than, and they say statistically, black jurors are more likely to be against the death penalty, but they sweep out the people who are just straight against it, but they're still more likely to be against it, which makes a lot of sense since more black people get executed. Right. So they're probably like, hey, that makes sense. So
and not just the majority. More black people get executed.
Well, they know the
majority of people on death row are minorities.
That's what I'm saying.
It's fucking crazy.
And when you see people get exonerated, it's a lot of black guys. So it's one of those things. Mm-hmm. So they might, especially if it was a black guy and a white lady, and they're saying this, and he's saying, "I saw the husband do it," then you'd probably say, "Hey, we need to have some black jurors on this fucking thing." But this is a white guy. I don't care about his fucking
all white all
racial
the time.
makeup. They're all he's white, she's white, they're white. Who fucking cares? So he's tried by an all-white jury. It's 6 males, 6 females. Okay. So it's even up on the gender, right down the middle there. They introduce photographs right away. The prosecution does. That will come up later on also. Here's a kind of a list of them here. It's a picture of Puckett's back with his shirt off. This is all obviously 2 days after the murder took place. Right. Close up of the abrasion to his right shoulder blade. A recent scratch on his right wrist. Mm-hmm. So a good scratch. A recent scratch on the inner part of another one on his right wrist. Mm-hmm. His right forearm has 2 scratches. And a lot of this he tries to explain away by landscaping.
Well, sure,
because you do get scratched up landscaping, but these are not.
Have you been bush hogging, Judge?
Have you been bush hogging?
Yeah, scratched up your.
These aren't thorn scratches, though. That's the problem.
That is a mosquito sliding down the sweat, and he was biting. He was just a biting.
It's a nasty one.
He was nibbling all the way down.
Puckett's face at the time of his arrest, and the frontal view of Puckett with his shirt off. They object to these. The Puckett's team does, obviously, on the basis that the qualifying witness, who was Dr. Michael West, couldn't identify the cause of any of the alleged injuries. He was just saying this is what they look like. The state said that they were admitted to show the injuries sustained that he had on his fucking body. That was just, you could say that those are defensive wounds from, so whatever. They said that's what they wanted to do. Also, they introduced photos of the victim of Rhonda's right forearm showing defensive wounds, Rhonda's right hand showing injuries to her fingers, the dorsal aspects of Rhonda's right hand showing defensive wounds, defensive injuries to her left arm, injuries to Rhonda's left forearm and elbow, including a cloth pattern, which like maybe a burn on the ground as she fell. Close-up photograph of abrasion to Rhonda's injury on her left elbow, left side of her face and neck, her face showing her eyes, nose, forehead, lips, and teeth injuries, like she's beaten in the fucking face, injuries to the back of her skull, cloth pattern injuries to her back, abrasions on the upper right chest near her armpit, the left side of her face, show lots of pictures of injuries. We'll just say that.
Beat the living shit out of her.
Yeah, and they showed all these pictures in court, and there's more pictures too. Her hands, that way showing how she was trying to fight, and how this just kept coming and coming and coming, and this wasn't like she got bonked on the head once, fell down, and that was it. This was she was fighting for her life, and he was fucking fighting against it. Like there's no,
he's fighting to take it, she's fighting to keep it.
Exactly. It's brutal. So he tells his story, his defense here.
After that,
that's the prosecutor. They tell all that.
Shit.
They bring up the mother-in-law, who says, I saw him with a club with blood and white stuff on it coming toward me after I heard a thud and a scream from my daughter. It sounds bad. Yeah. All the fucking David coming in, the kids coming in and seeing him standing there with a bloody club. That's the thing. Even the kids saw it. Right. It's like everybody saw this shit.
And he's got to sit on the stand and say, so what had happened was?
What had happened was, pray tell, why? Pray tell,
why, sir?
Why?
Oh my God.
That's a pray tell and a why. So, first of all, his first defense is the clothes he was wearing when he was captured tested negative for human blood. Well, that was 2 days later, so that is fucking irrelevant as shit. But that's a defense of his.
Could be a different pair of fucking coveralls.
Yeah. He said there's no evidence of semen on the victim's body, and none of the hairs collected from her body and the carpet where she found matched his. Plenty of sexually sadistic killers can't fucking ejaculate. Right. Some of them can't even get it up. Never mind fucking ejaculate. That's not the point. That's not a relative thing either, or a relevant thing, I should say. And the hair you're lucky. None of your hair fell out on there. I saw the pictures of him when he's arrested too. He's got like a crew cut. Not a crew cut, but like short cropped,
like
very
military hair.
Like you're going to go in the Navy next week. Right. He's got very short hair. So the medical examiner could have missed a fucking hair on a tiny hair on a trailer carpet.
Also, he's wearing coveralls, and he may not have much body hair. There's a lot of reasons. That's the other thing. There's no body hair to fall because of the coveralls and the head hair. Yeah, he's not losing his hair. He's 18 years old. He might not have lost some hair in 4 minutes. I didn't get much body hair. I'm a fucking monster now. I have hair everywhere. Yeah. Like except for the small patch in the back of my head, everything else is covered in hair. And that didn't happen until I was like 22. Yeah. So who knows?
Yeah, well, then his body hair, he's got coveralls on, so he's not going to leave behind body hair at all here. So that's a big thing from her, that none of the shit was there. He testifies that mall handle that they think is the mall handle actually isn't his mall handle from that job site, because it had been destroyed a couple weeks before that when he used it to make a torch, to burn some trash. So he used it to make a torch out of it. So obviously, now he claims in court, in front of people, that Jesus Christ, man, he claims in court in front of other human beings that he planned to burglarize their house and entered and saw Rhonda's car parked outside. He now claims that he has had sexual prior encounters with Rhonda before, obviously prior, several months before, somewhere around May 95. So he was, getting it on with Rhonda really under the table. You know how those Eagle Scouts do it. They get their hooks in you. It's hard to get them out.
Watch out.
So he stated that no further contact had been made between him and Rhonda between May and October. So I hadn't seen her at all. We hadn't been fucking from then. It was just a quick fling. And then I saw her that day, and obviously within 4 minutes she's nude, because that's how I roll. So he said he had an affair with her. This was an affair is what he said, and he said the same story. He was kissing until they heard the mother, and then he said that it was David who did it after accusing David murdered Rhonda after accusing them of having an affair.
Was David there for this testimony?
Oh, fuck. I don't know. No, I don't think that witnesses, unless they're done, I don't think they can see other testimony.
Get the fuck out of here.
And I think they have to not be able to be recalled.
I will clear a bar
think he could.
and choke the life out of him.
Oh, how would you not?
Oh
my God. Right. That's what I mean. That's what's even worse. Now he's trying to sully this woman's fucking, I don't know, not that it matters, but her reputation or whatever. And in this community, it matters to these people. It matters to her. These are all church-going nice people who care about this sort of shit. Like, whatever. I mean, if that's what they care about, that's what they fucking care about. It's fucking horrific. They asked... once he says that, they ask him, the prosecutor asks Matt on the stand, who was the first person you told that story to? And he says, my lawyer. Yeah. And they say, and then what? And when was that? And he said, I don't have the date. And the prosecutor said, if you're an innocent man, and I mean they're telling you to shut up and don't tell anybody, if you're innocent, you shouldn't tell anybody. And he said, that's what my mama said. On the stand, he said, I didn't tell anybody that I saw this guy murder her, even though I'm being accused of murder and I'm up for the death penalty because, quote, that's what my mama said. No. I'm sorry, mama. Forrest Gump, fucking mama in that situation. Yeah. Fuck you. So the prosecutor said, and you're innocent, you say? And he says, yes, sir. And so the prosecutor says, well, one thing I know, you haven't told anyone other than your mother and your lawyer on God's green earth until today, have you? And he said, I was told to keep quiet, which makes no sense. So the prosecutor says, keep quiet. An innocent man who's done nothing and witnessed a murder, they told you to keep quiet. And he said, yes, sir. And they said, why would he do that? And he said, that was my mother and my lawyer, and that's what they instructed me to do. So I have no mama. It was mama, and remember, Mama's Woods. That's my address. So his mama and his lawyer told him to shut up and don't. If you're fucking innocent, you scream that shit from especially if you're accused of this kind of murder.
Oh my God.
A horrible, awful murder with sexual shit in it. You are fucking, no.
If my son comes to me and tells me the story of what really happened and it's this story, I'm running straight to the press. I'm running straight to everybody. They locked up an innocent man.
Dude, you would have to fucking, I would be removed from the courtroom because I'd be screaming the whole time. No, I didn't fucking I wouldn't be able to shout. No, none of this is true. I'd be losing my mind. No.
Axe handle in her. No,
I never did that shit. So this whole thing is a fucking disaster, obviously. They get David Griffiths on the stand here, and they ask him just some shit about when he fired Matt and why he fired Matt, and they talk about the following the lady, which was obviously objected to because they're trying to say prior bad acts, but it ends up getting in. And they said, when you terminated Matt and told him he was terminated, was there any type of hostile reaction or anything like that? Saying if he said, I'll fucking kill you and your wife and shove an axe handle in her or some crazy shit like that. David says no. They said, did you in fact offer to recommend him for other employment? And he said, no, I didn't. And so they asked him, you just told him he was terminated and that appeared to be the end of the matter. And he said, well, I told him why he was terminated. And they said, as you indicated, there was no hostile reaction. He said, none at all.
Right.
So no hostile reaction. They have all the witnesses come in and say the kids, the fucking mother-in-law, everything say this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't take long. Deliberations on this one don't take a long time. Good. He is found guilty of everything. Yeah. So now it's sentencing because there wasn't a lot of doubt on the guilt here in this phase, even though later on they're going to claim there is.
It's tough to buy that story.
That's a tough story to buy. You have to buy a lot of different shit. Yeah. A lot of different shit.
You got
to
buy into that a Southern Baptist woman with 2 kids and a husband is just a complete trollop behind
possible.
Her husband's back with an 18-year-old boy.
People do shit. It's convenient. I'm not that I'm saying she did that. I'm just saying that even if that happened, that's fine. That happens. People, whatever the fuck. But
the idea,
the rest of it,
right?
The idea of the
right
fact,
under her mother's nose,
right under get rid of my mother. Like this is totally out of character for her.
Crazy.
Completely, everything that does is out of character for her. And then at that point, the kid, both kids, the mother-in-law, they'd all have to be lying about the fact that he had fucking brain on a club with blood on it and shit coming at her. And then when they popped up, why would they all lie about that? Why would the kids lie about it? It makes no fucking sense.
It's just,
to protect the father, is that why would the mother-in-law protect David if she knew he killed her daughter? She wouldn't protect him.
There's too many questions that are like, no answer.
No answer.
There's
nothing.
There's nothing plausible.
Got nothing for you. Right. So sentencing comes around here, and a lot of people testifying for old Matt here.
Really?
He's a Eagle Scout. He's a straight A student. All the teachers love him. Everybody loves him. Outside of this, he's done everything perfect in his whole life. He's helping his dad out who's sick. So he's got a lot of people there for him. The Petal School Superintendent Pat Jones testifies, said, quote, "He was a good, caring child. I think Matt Puckett has a lot of redeeming qualities. I never saw a violent side of him. A Boy Scout patrol leader named Lamar Pritchard," that sounds diddly, he helped Puckett earn his Eagle Scout badge or whatever the fuck, and he said, quote, status. He said, quote, "The Matt I know can overcome this and lead a productive life." No, he can't. No Matt can overcome either life or life in prison without parole or death. I don't know how you're going to overcome those. Those are pretty good obstacles there. You're going to end up, that's a Donner Party situation at that point. Witnesses for the prosecution included a woman who claimed that Matt had stalked her before in the weeks leading up to Rhonda's murder.
That's not good.
And a former coworker that said that that Matt had the ability to fool people, which is interesting.
I mean, so does David Blaine. I mean,
a lot of people do.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, he said, quote, "If you didn't know him, he was a pretty good. If you didn't know him, he was a pretty good fellow." That's is
everybody on earth.
And then he said, quote, "He didn't like being told what to do." What 18-year-old kid likes being told to load the pine straw? Nobody likes that. These are terrible jobs.
Who is this person?
This is fucking ridiculous. Eric Harding is his name, as a matter of fact.
Get the fuck out of court,
Eric, man. What are you doing? Well, why'd the prosecutor... I'd be like, why'd you bring me here to tell me how he loads pine straw into a fucking truck? What difference does that make?
It sounds like Matt tried to fuck Eric's sister.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I'll tell you everything bad about him.
Every goddamn thing you want to know.
Worst dude ever. I knew he was going to do this.
Everyone is heard, positives and negatives. Everyone is heard, obviously, and the judge here gives a little speech about being, a productive member of society and having things going for you, and then not having things going for you anymore, and the heinousness of his acts and everything else, and it ends up with a "you, sir, may fuck off," and it's a death penalty.
Oh boy,
for this young man, which is a big deal because he was 18 when he committed the murder, but still, it's fucking death. He gets the death penalty, and this is one where it's kind of hard to feel bad for him.
Yeah.
He did this real brutal.
It's terrible.
This wasn't a gunshot like, ooh, that one little trigger pull just ended. This was like, you had to want it. She had defensive wounds. He had to, and then he had to, not only that, he had to add insult to injury and everything else. So
that's the part that is always fascinating. Not necessarily fascinating.
No, you can say fascinating. It's fucking fascinating. It's crazy.
It's a terrifying,
that too.
I want to know what goes through their mind when they're like, I got to shove something that's not meant to go in there. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
It makes no sense, but your brain doesn't work like that.
Right.
Your sexual triggers are all a mystery.
Well, mine are all into what makes me finish. You know?
That's what I mean.
But no,
is
some
that
people
what makes
it's not
them
about
finish?
that. That's crazy.
Some people can't, and some people want this, and some people want to build some weird shit, and some people have some crazy fantasy that they've worked out in their fucking head forever.
Absurd.
You don't know. That's the thing. Who the hell knows? And I don't know. So he appeals, obviously. Now, his attorney argues that the district attorney's office used, quote, an overall platform of racial discrimination when selecting jury members for the case, which, interesting. He says the prosecution struck every available black juror during jury selection. It is reasonable and proper for the court to see if the district attorney's office is using a systematic pattern of striking all black jurors in capital murder cases. Now, that's all fine and dandy, which they probably should do that also, but we broke down the way
it was all legitimate.
It was, and even if it wasn't, even if it was, hey, good, we got rid of all the black guys, even if it was which I'm not doubting it is. I don't know fucking shit about 1995 Mississippi District Attorney's Office. They could be doing that. I don't know. But in this case, it doesn't matter because it's not, he's white and so is she.
It's not relevant to the case.
It's relevant to
it's only relevant.
It's relevant to other shit.
To the death penalty part, but it's not relevant to what's going on. It's not racial biased. It's just, it's looking for a reason for him not to get the death penalty.
And they used 4 strikes against black jurors, and the prosecutor said that this was a stupid point because there was solid reasons for dismissing all 4 black jurors that they did. He said the prosecutor said they dismissed the jurors for reasons ranging from a juror's request to be removed and inconsistent and unclear answers about the death penalty. They wouldn't give a definite yes or no on how they, whatever.
But through that jury pool, like how many white people were dismissed for those same fucking reasons?
Well, out of their 12 strikes, 8 were used against white people. So I mean that is a third of them were used against 10% of the possible pool. So that's more or less, but it's still within the margin of error.
Sure.
It's one of those. It's hard to say you don't get the death penalty because of this. And also in Mississippi, jurors cannot serve in capital cases if they object to using the death penalty. Okay. So some places you can have people who say I'll never give the death penalty on the jury.
Really?
Whereas here in most states they've made laws so you can dismiss people for that, which I don't think is fair.
That does seem a bit stacking
because
the jury.
Well, in society, a jury of your peers, a cross section of society, half the people don't believe in the fucking death penalty. Right. So you should have half the people or 40% or whatever the hell it is. I don't know. You know how we are, everybody. If you listen to this show, we're touchy on the death penalty. Right. We know it's not given correctly, and we feel like we're probably against it in its current form of not being able to fucking do it right. That's the problem. But there are some people that we would love to drag behind a fucking truck for 5 or 6 miles and check on them after that.
So much Taliban tactics I would love to use.
Some people we would love to say, hey, David Griffiths, you know what this guy's sentence is? Yeah. You take him out back of the courthouse with a fucking axe handle and you get 5 minutes and go to town.
Just in case that one breaks, here's another.
Whatever's left of him we'll take to prison. That's the type of shit where we're like, this is bullshit. Yeah, we want this fucking guy, but I'm not sure that the state is really capable of doing it correctly.
I don't think that's constitutional.
That's what I'm saying. So, no, it's definitely not. But I think it's probably more reasonable.
Should be.
Honestly, that's more reasonable. Yeah. Hey, the state's weird. David, would you like to do it? No? All right, well, then life in prison. I don't know. So anyway, they say the defense says, quote, in general, black jury members are very hesitant to impose the death penalty. Historically, their exposure to the death penalty and other abuses of power make them less likely to vote for it than others. Understood. Yeah. Now, the law in this shows that he would have to be, first of all, the way the law is stated, for this to be relevant in this idiot's case, in Matt's case, he would have to be a member of a, quote, cognizable racial group. So he's got to be a member of some sort of group that you can say that's a group of races, a racial group that's whatever, recognizable, rather than just he's a white kid.
Like the KKK? Or?
No, he has to be like a black or Hispanic or Jewish or something of a
minority.
Yeah, he has to be some sort of something.
He has to have somebody that's got some prejudicial bias against him.
Yeah, that's the thing. And the whole thing about it, there's a lot here about the whole thing, but under this, basically they made a law later on that said, a new judgment that said a white defendant has standing to object to the use of preemptory challenges on black jurors. They can't just say, well, everybody's white, fuck you. That's like the first factor. What they end up figuring out here in the appeal is that they probably should have had a hearing for this, but if they did, it wouldn't have come out in Puckett's favor. Yeah. So, like, you probably should have got a hearing. That's great, but it wouldn't have changed dick about the outcome. They would have said,
problem.
So it wouldn't have fixed shit and tough shit, basically. Also, the photos, all the photos they object to, they are deemed relevant to, a murder case. He was trying to say that his injuries compared to her injuries aren't right, even though they're said to be from the same weapon. Jesus Christ. Also, whether Dr. Michael West should have been allowed to testify as an expert in the field of wound patterns. They claim that he failed to establish that there's a general acceptance of wound pattern analysis in the scientific community, that there's no certification for a wound pattern expert. Well, there's no certification for really any kind of expert. There's no blood spatter expert guy with a certificate next to him. You go by expert based on how many cases have you done, how many this, how many that. that. That's how they do expert.
How much have you processed
what's
and
your,
seen?
What's your schooling and what's your experience?
How long you been doing this shit?
Well, I have this certification from the Spatter Society of America. Who the fuck are they? So, you know what I mean? Who the fuck are these people?
Yeah.
So anyway, they go through this whole thing, and they basically say the court agrees with the state's side of then there would be no experts on anything. That's the way we do experts. That's what Wadir is. What is my cousin Vinny? Let's go back to that. Remember, she said she's an expert in automobile, and they said, you're an expert? What's your thing?
How are you an expert?
So they gave her questions. That's how they do it. They see if you're an expert. What kind of education do you have? Well, I grew up in a garage. I know how to do all this shit. Okay, well, what is this and that? Well, she knows her shit. Right. So there you go. That's what they do.
Just fine.
Yeah, there's no certification for anything.
It's a trick question.
There's no board of certification for wound pattern experts. So, yeah, also whether the trial court erred in denying Matt's motions for a mistrial based on prosecutorial misconduct. They said that they said they alleged that 4 attorneys from the DA staff were improperly participating in the trial for some reason, and also that the defense counsel alleged the prosecution exceeded an in-chambers agreement during the cross-exam. Basically, they said they asked David a couple of questions that went a little far outside of the parameters they'd agreed upon about Matt's firing, about the woman he allegedly stalked on the walking path. Okay. So that's part of this. They're saying he went outside of that, outside of the parameters, and that should be cause for me to not go to the death chamber for that. So
that's a real reach.
Yeah,
that's more of a reach than I walked in and in 5 minutes I was damn near fucking her.
That's even worse. And well, basically they're trying to decide whether they're basically saying, without that information of him stalking a woman on the track, would you have convicted him? That's what they have to look at. And it's like, yeah, absolutely. None of that didn't matter at all. That was just like, oh, so he is a little pervert. Right. That's all it was. There's a little more proof he's a pervert. That's all it fucking was here. The 911 tape also, he says that the 911 tape is full of lies and hearsay. His 911 tape is him saying this guy came in here in my house and he's clubbing people and fuck, that didn't happen. Right. That's all David's crazy lies. You can't play the 911 tape. That's just lies from a person trying to, put it on me and shit like that. But there's a clear statute on this saying that 911 calls are admissible. Period. That's it. There's a couple of things that make them inadmissible, but for the most part, they're even they fall under the excited utterance exception to the hearsay rule. Even that's a very legal thing, but if you know legal shit,
I don't think I want a 911 call of my death. Even I don't want.
No, that sounds terrible.
I can't believe. I just hate 911. I hate the whole. I get why. Yeah. I just hate the whole vulnerability that it presents to everybody in society. That everything that you say into that is just for everybody
forever. Yeah, that's horrible.
That's horrific.
Don't call 911. Let me die. Let me die in peace and dignity, please.
DNR, babe.
That's right.
I don't care.
DNC. Don't call anybody. Don't call shit. Don't call a motherfucking person.
Don't try to fix this problem. No. Fuck it.
So also he's arguing the sexual assault aggravator. He's saying that he has the balls to, this is insane here. Wow. This is in a court of law, this document that says this, quote, the state clearly prohibits the insertion of any object into the genital or anal openings of another person's body without his or her consent. Yeah. That has to be stated.
I can't believe it.
That's a fucking law.
What?
Okay. That's a fucking law. Okay. That's what they're like. Listen, so that's what we're going based off of.
Did they say that with a big wink at him?
Obviously.
Because he knows that he's about to.
Matt's assertion is that the lack of seminal fluid was sufficient evidence that the act was not the product of sexual behavior or a libidinal gratification. That's what he said. So he's like, I didn't get off on it, obviously. It was more of a violent thing than a fucking sexual thing. Like, it was like, that's another fucking place I can jam if they like, no. Sorry. When you do that, that's sexual. That's, if you kill a black guy in a Klan outfit, it's a fucking hate crime.
Racism.
Even if you did it because he just slashed your tire. It doesn't fucking matter. Right. You're in a Klan outfit. That's a black guy. Looks pretty fucking bad. Sorry. It's the same thing. Don't give a shit. Well, if you did it, you did it. So, they said there was sufficient evidence of sexual penetration. Obviously, they said the bleeding from that area was due to numerous lacerations and trauma that was consistent with blunt force object being inserted. Fucking
it's not
horrible.
Just a jab, James. It's a
fucking violent action and horrible.
Christ.
They said here, although it may be difficult for the average citizen to consider the insertion of such an object into a woman's vagina as sexual behavior, the statute contemplates such behavior and specifically prohibits such behavior that is performed without consent. Accordingly, there's no merit to assignment of error. The law is very clear. Yeah. If you stick something in someone and without them wanting it, that's sexual assault, whether you get off on it or not. Yeah. It's not like, well, it wasn't real good for me, so I shouldn't be charged with this, right?
There's plenty of frat boys that didn't get off on it either, jamming pencils up their brother's ass, but they still did it, and it's still sexual assault.
And they said it doesn't matter of the lack of fluids from him because he might not have had any. The hair is also with his whole thing. Well, they didn't find any hair. Well, the lack of shit doesn't mean there isn't shit. That's the thing here. But it doesn't matter because whether there's hair there or not, he said he was there making out. So there was hair there. Okay, well, I was there making out. There's no hair there. Oh, okay, well, what does that mean? That you didn't kill her? I don't understand what that means exactly. It doesn't matter. And also, another point he has is lack of blood on his coveralls. They arrested me. I don't have shit all. I didn't have blood all over me. Well,
it's been days, man.
It's been fucking 2 days, dummy. They said that some human protein was found, but it wasn't sufficient an amount to establish a type of human protein at the time. And
do you think he spit on her?
He could not. Well, I mean, he could have sneezed on himself, and it doesn't know. Who knows?
If he spit on her, what a fucking pile of garbage.
Who knows? With how fucking horrible he was, that wouldn't shock me at all.
Jesus.
That wouldn't shock. Was this an angry thing? Was this a stone cold thing? What was the
motivation alone is just horrific.
What was how was he? Why? It's just so fucking weird, man.
It's horrible.
It's so goddamn weird. And also the jury, the coveralls that they found him in, David testified that were not the same coveralls that he was wearing at the house too. But he said obviously that's self-serving to David, clearly. So he loses all his appeals, obviously. In prison, he writes a lot. He's another one. He doesn't publish it, but he writes blogs all the time about being in prison.
He's one of those guys.
And he said that he was so divorced from society, as he put it, that he actually didn't see a video of the World Trade Center buildings coming down until 2003, when they finally got a TV because the Iraq invasion. They were showing that on TV.
You know what? Good.
You're in prison. I don't know. What do you care? What difference does it make to you? Unless they tell you you're moving somewhere else, what the fuck does it matter?
It doesn't change your shit. Unless
do you still bring my meal in a slot at fucking 3 set times during the day? Well, then what the fuck do I care what buildings stand in a city up north?
When they move you to another prison and they say, take your shoes off and walk through this, then ask why. And then we'll tell you.
Yeah. That's why.
Until then, fuck you. You don't get to know.
Yeah, I get to do that all weekend.
Right.
So, Jesus. He says this, quote, "It's easy to be forgotten. Lots of people wrote in the beginning. People that I had vaguely come into contact with had these nice things to say about me, and then there were quite a few that didn't have very nice things to say. But as the years roll on, fewer and fewer people wrote. Folks moved on and had families and careers and lives. I became a distant memory. I accepted it. I was in a different place, and for a long time, survival meant focusing on here and now. You don't lose sight of this place for long. It'll be the end of you quicker than you can read these words."
That's like a MySpace eulogy.
That's what it is.
That's MySpace saying everybody moved to Facebook.
Well, then this next one is a 100% MySpace post, not even Facebook. Okay. He just says, quote, "This place is full of alpha males. If you aren't an alpha male, you're damn well better get these traits fast. You have to be tough. You have to be strong. You have to be ready to fight anyone at any time for any reason. You have to be ready to do the same with yourself. So many days I've wanted the misery to end, for it to finally be over with. God, I hate this place. But you have to get up each morning running and put your mean mug on and pull that fight out of you and ride on and fight on. No matter how bad it is, you can't stop." It really doesn't matter whether you stop or not, because it's going to keep going. You're going to get dragged.
Wake up tomorrow. You're going to get dragged.
You're
again.
Trying to stop the rotation of the earth, brother. This is shit you have nothing to fucking do with. That's what you're doing. I can stop it, I swear.
Those were the words of a 100% coward. A dude that you raped and murdered a woman.
That's what I'm saying. Now, you didn't mind that,
right?
You had no problem there, and then tried to implicate somebody else for it. Someone else that who was mourning the loss of their wife and trying to raise their 2 kids without her. Wow. Nice.
Pay your debt. Pay up, bitch.
Anyway, yeah. Pay up, bitch. That's the equivalent of cheer up, bitch. So executions, how they roll in Mississippi, they've had several forms, obviously. They joined the Union in 1817. Hanging was the first and most common, and sometimes not by the letter of the law way that Mississippi hung here. Right. They are hanged. The state continued to they executed prisoners by hanging until 1940 when they brought in the electric chair. Okay. That was the first electric chair prisoner. They moved the chair. They had an old oak electric chair that was moved from county to county for 12 years.
It was mobile.
Bring in the electric chair. Yeah, they'd have to order the electric chair. Well, what do you mean it's booked?
Can we FedEx that?
God damn it, we're supposed to kill this son of a bitch. Now you got to get it over here.
Can y'all overnight that?
They're using it at 2. We can use it at 6. If you get it over, just clean it off. Wipe it off with a towel. We don't give a shit.
Let it cool down a little bit.
That's all. Just pack it on in the truck. So 75 prisoners were executed in that 12-year span with the electric chair being back and forth. Yeah. Then in 54, they brought in the gas chamber. They brought that to...
that was in 54?
54, wow. Yeah, which back then it was probably just a fucking Buick backed up against the goddamn thing. It replaced the electric chair. By the way, the electric chair is on display at the Mississippi Law Enforcement Trading Academy.
Not an electric chair, no, the electric chair.
They had one electric chair. It's fucking
That's
crazy.
So nuts.
We killed everybody with this. Whew, boy. This bastard was smoking back in its day. You have no idea.
This is higher than every serial
75
killer.
Is what it is. It's pretty fucking high. Outside of Gary Ridgway and a couple others, that's pretty
impressive.
High. The first person to be executed by gas chamber was in 1955. Over 34 years after that, 35 death row inmates were executed in the gas chamber, which they did. That's in 35, basically one a year. Yeah. And before that, they did 75 in 12 years during the 40s. They were really
cooking them.
They were fucking cooking down there, man. And God, how many of those people were innocent? Probably at least half, probably back then. Because back then they weren't even, wasn't based on shit.
There was no chance of trying it again.
It was just, a white lady said you whistled, and that was the fucking end of it. It's ridiculous, man. The
appeals process was weak.
I would say so. Not great, man. So that all happened, and the last person to be executed in the gas chamber was in 1989, and they made that kind of they made lethal injection into it now there, and so they.
What is more humane?
I don't know.
A gas chamber or an electric chair?
They're both insane.
I can't imagine.
To have a big ceremony where we bring you in and we all plan it and we all set our clocks, all of that is disturbing to me.
Or we're going to shut doors.
It's fucking weird.
Crank gas in there.
Like I said.
Then we'll turn on some fans for a while.
Go listen. Sometime between this year and this year, while you're sleeping, someone's going to come in and put a fucking 45 behind your ear and end it. That's going to be the end of it.
I like that.
That's humane. That's fucking humane. I'm sorry. This is weird. It's not even for them. It's weird I feel weird that we're all planning this out like it's a wedding. It's fucking
hanging
weird.
On to a dude.
It's weird.
With a hope chest.
It's super strange.
And everything down to the food.
Yeah,
it's fucking crazy.
The whole thing is weird. Like this, it's super formal. And the formality of it's what's so fucking weird. Like formal murder is exactly what we call cold-blooded. Right. Like when mobsters do that, we're like the monsters, the cold-blooded. That's what they're doing. That's what, this is worse. You have to plan everything, and they have to get chairs. The mobsters don't have to get a viewing audience and chairs and shit and book a room. There's wherever the fuck the guy is.
They ought to let
stuff
them
him in a trunk.
Very much like a wedding. Pick the song.
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
Pick the colors.
This is so weird. It's just fucking weird.
Send out the save-a-dates. Let's get it all done the right way.
It's crazy, man. Jesus Christ. So
what's your song, James?
What's your song? What am I going out to? I gotta think about that one. Is it something I hate or something I like? I think it would be something I hate. Like anything Shania Twain, I think. Because I'd be begging for the fucking needle. Run them. Put it in my fucking arm. Put it in my arm.
If it takes 45 minutes, just play fucking Adele's 21 on loop. Let's go.
Woman. Fucking stop saying it over and over again. Make it stop.
Hello from the other side. Let's go.
Fuck, man. So execution day comes upon us, March 20th, 2010. He wrote a lot of letters to friends and family and essays and blogs and all sorts of shit and a bunch of stuff of what it's like to be executed. Here's one at the end here that he wrote. Now picture yourself surrounded by big burly men with firm grips on you as they direct you to the execution chamber. The excitement and base fear course through you like no time in your life. You sweat, you pant, you want them to stop. They won't, they can't. The whole process is inexorable. Ironically, at the moment of your death, your body proves that to you are most alive. Yeah, but that all is fine. It's a whole thing about how the whole poem is about, it's not a poem, the whole essay is about how your whole life you want to be next, whether you're next up to bat or you're next in line or you're next in this. And this is the thing where you're like, oh no, not me. I don't want to be next. That's the whole thing. But yeah, that's what happens.
Right. How do you think she felt, you fucking jerk?
That's what I'm saying. How do you think her kids feel right now with no fucking mother and knowing they walked in on that? There's calls for clemency, man. People want it. There is a change.org petition for this kid. 262 supporters on the change.org petition.
Wow.
He's
got a big family.
It's huge. There's so many people saying how did he not get a new trial? He's obviously wrongly convicted. And they're going all on the juror thing, striking the black jurors. But it's like, also look at how much evidence there is. It's everyone fucking saw you. Everyone saw you and then you went and hid in the woods. Are you out of your fucking mind?
The story is crazy.
It's so, there's Mississippians educating for smart justice. They want the governor at the time, Phil Bryant, to grant clemency to him, as well as another killer named William Mitchell who killed a lady in Biloxi. They said, quote, neither of these men, William Mitchell or Matt Puckett, have had a fair trial. Neither of them have had a real appeal. It's time to quit hiding behind this fraud and accept the fact that our system is deeply flawed, and these two cases prove it. Now, I didn't look enough into the Mitchell case to know his circumstances, but this one, there's a lot of fucking evidence too.
If it's anything like
there's a
this
lot of
one,
evidence. It's a lot.
Let's get some needles sharpened.
The last I saw Mitchell, a woman was at work and she went outside to have a cigarette with Mitchell and then never fucking came back. And so that's the last person you were seen with. And I don't know about physical evidence though, so I'm not positive about that. As of the day before the execution, there were 4,500 electronic signatures on a petition called Save Matt Puckett, Stop an Innocent Man from Being Executed. An innocent man.
Wow.
You can say the trial was whatever, but innocent's a tough one on this one. He clearly was making out with that woman, and then the husband came in and didn't beat him to death, but beat her to death.
We should start one called Mix the Cocktail Now.
No shit. Jesus.
Get the IV started tomorrow.
Fuck. So the governor gets fired up here. Governor Phil Bryant refuses to grant the reprieve after the U.S. Supreme Court finally denied his petition. The last line of defense here was the governor, and he said in a statement here, in light of Mr. Puckett's having been convicted by a jury of his peers more than 15 years ago, and after a review of the facts associated with the case, I've decided not to grant clemency and will not delay the execution. My thoughts and prayers are with the victims' family. So, one of the prison guys that was there kind of keeping an eye on him, he says that Matt would not talk about the murder leading up to all he would talk about is like other shit. He wouldn't talk about anything surrounding the murder or the execution, which if you were innocent, you'd be like, I swear to God, Jesus Christ, you gotta understand me. Oh my God. So you'd be losing your mind. All the guy said was, quote, he said there was more to the story and he denied committing the crime. He's just like, there's more than you know, which is,
I'm sure there is.
I'm sure.
But the other facts are going to incriminate you more.
That's what I'm saying. Matt requested that his relatives and lawyer not watch the execution, even though his parents were on the witness list, and they could have watched. He spent his final hours receiving his parents, his brothers, and uncle, and his spiritual advisor there, and everything. His last meal.
Yes.
Jimmy, his last meal, your favorite. Wait. He gets a last meal.
Hold on, let's savor this one. We haven't had a
last. That's why I did this for you. I was like, I need a last meal for Jimmy here.
Can I guess?
Yeah, go for it.
Did he go with fried chicken?
No, he didn't. He did not go with fried chicken.
Pizza, didn't he?
No, he didn't.
He's a young kid.
You're never going to guess his main dish. You might guess something else, but you'll never guess his main dish. Macadamia nut pancakes.
What?
That's his jam, man.
That's a terrible choice.
That's a really odd choice.
Did he go with like bacon and eggs and all that stuff
macadamia nut pancakes, shrimp and grits, which he's a southern guy. If you're from he's from fucking right above the Gulf of Mexico. Shrimp and grits is his deal.
Following up macadamia pancakes with that
sounds gross.
Ugh.
Ice cream cake. If it had those little crunchies, I understand. Caramel candies, just caramels, and root beer.
That's a choice of an 18-year-old.
Of a child.
Yeah.
That's a choice of a fucking child.
That's a terrible. Where's the mac and cheese and Cheez-Its?
Nothing
weirdo?
heavy, nothing fucking greasy, really. I mean, give me if there's some sweets, that's good. But anyway,
that's the dinner of like a single man.
That's a
toddler.
But it does actually. They did a study, and from people who they found out were executed, that they found out were innocent after they were executed, and people who they aren't innocent after they were executed, and they looked at all of their last meals, and the innocent people order less elaborate last meals.
Really?
Like they don't order sugar and carbs. The guilty men order sugar. It's the weirdest fucking thing. Yeah, they order fucking all the. It's guilty. A lot of times, innocent men order just give me the standard meal. Like they just were just like so disgusted by it. They didn't even want to. They didn't want to celebrate this whole thing. Yeah. Like, oh, this is my last day. Yeah. They were just like, fuck, on my last day. I'm too depressed to eat.
Fried okra and some chicken.
This guy said, bring out the ice cream cake and the shrimps and grits.
Ice cream cake. Like he didn't even go with
cake.
Just a couple.
Not a bowl
of
ice cream.
A lot of guys go with a pint of ice cream.
Not a 2-scoop or anything. Nope.
Take your ass to Baskin Robbins.
I want a cake. I want a Carvel with the
mint chip.
I want Fudgy the Whale. Get him for me now. So
mint chip brownie. Let's go.
He wore glasses for some reason into the execution chamber. Why would you wear? I wouldn't want to see these people. Stared up at the ceiling. They said he didn't look in the direction of the victim's parents. They asked him if he had any final words, and he just said no. So didn't even give a final statement. He wrote a lot, so there's plenty there. He took, they said, several deep breaths, and it looked like he fell asleep, and he's pronounced dead at 6:18.
Amazing.
He requested that his body be released to his mother, Mary. She said Mary was at a rally the day before trying to get her son clemency. She said that the treatment was unfair from the start. She said, quote, like a lot of people, I thought if someone was convicted of a crime, they were probably guilty. But if this can happen to us, it can happen to anyone. Because she's looking at this as my son, and if he says he didn't do it, he's been a good kid his whole life. He's a fucking Eagle Scout. That's a cliche of honesty. So that sort of thing. Also, Cecil and Nancy Hatton, who are Rhonda's parents, they watched the execution as well, which is okay here. Nancy said, quote, today we witnessed the result of a choice made by Matt Puckett. If he had chosen to live as a law-abiding citizen rather than choosing to murder our daughter, our only child, who is a wife and a mother, we would not be here today. Nothing will ever fill that void. He said, it will always be in our lives, the void that Matt caused. There will be closure on this on the side of justice, but there will never be closure for this for our daughter as part of our lives. She said, I know for a fact that he murdered Rhonda. You might ask, how do I know for a fact? Because I happened to be there.
Right.
He knew he murdered her. He also knew the serious penalty for murder. He still committed the murder, therefore accepting responsibility. Our daughter was murdered in such a horrendous way, and it's so difficult to comprehend that anyone would ever or could ever do that to her. But we know that she's no longer suffering. She is at peace, and we will one day be with her again. So that's their final. We'll give them
solid statement. Good for Nana.
We'll give them the final word because she went through some hell. Not only did she walk in on this, and not only she had this happen to her daughter anyway, and has to live with the wave and the wake, live in the wake of that with the kids and everything else, but she fucking walked in on it.
She was right next door.
And if David comes home 2 minutes later, she's beaten to death with a fucking club. Literally 2 minutes, she's fucking dead.
Yeah.
So I mean that close, and so
he saved her life.
He saved her fucking life. So. I mean, this lady has reason to be real upset about this whole thing. So, that is Petal, Mississippi.
Wow.
And that is Larry Matthew Puckett and the poor Griffiths family and the Hattons, and just a fucking nightmare of a mess and a shitty last meal to boot on top of it. So.
And this whole time I've been thinking pedal is spelled like pedal bicycle. That's with a D.
Yeah,
for sure.
Pedal.
And then a pedal of
they
a
just
rose is with a T.
They called her Petal.
So I've been thinking about that for the past 2 hours.
Well, that's good. I'm sure I actually was too earlier. I remember at one point in the show I was thinking, what yes, that's right.
Which one of those is the right spell?
We said that right.
I didn't Google it. I just been thinking about it for 2 hours. And I was like, pedal.
No Googling. Yeah. We figured it out. We got that down. It's all right. But,
so they named their daughter Petal, like pedal a bicycle. That's weird.
That was their the middle name anyway. So that's the town. That was a fucked up episode. Messed up. What a dick. We haven't had a death penalty in a while, or we haven't had a last meal. I figured I'd throw Jimmy a bone there.
It's been so long.
With a last meal.
I love them.
If you like that episode, like Jimmy did, I know how you can tell us. It's real easy. It's real simple. You can just go to iTunes or Apple Podcasts, wherever the purple icon icon is there, and give us 5 stars. Say what you want. Doesn't matter. Tell us you're following instructions, following directions. Really doesn't matter. It's really not for our ego. It's just for business purposes. That really helps drive the show up the charts for some reason. Yeah. iTunes and their funky algorithm needs it to be fed with reviews. So please do that. Also, you can go to shutupandgivememurder.com.
Yes.
And you can get all your merchandise, t-shirts, whatever the hell you want with all of our sayings and you sir may fuck off and yay and everything you want on there. Our logos, get those at there. And you can also at Shut Up and Give Me Murder. There's more you can do there. Yeah. You can go get tickets to live shows. Holy hell, get tickets to our goddamn live shows. They're so much fun. We promise you a good time.
Sold out, we're told.
And we're told they're close to sold, except Minnesota we know is sold out. All the rest of them, who the fuck knows? I think there's some tickets left. Whatever, try to get them. If you can, great. If not, fucking see you there.
Yeah.
But definitely do that. Really be careful of the second, what are they? The second second.
Don't buy from other. If you want a ticket, go to shutupandgivememurder.com. Go to the live area. Buy the tickets there. If they're not there, they don't exist.
Well, if you're in Minnesota or something like that, there are reputable second. There are like StubHub, I think, is good. There's places like that where you can get them where they're going to be real. But I feel terrible that you'd pay that much. I'd
rather you don't. I'd rather you leave.
But if you really want to see the show, then fine, great. But don't buy them from shady sources. Please
hang on to those tickets. Make those fuckers hang on to them and be eating that ticket.
Well,
make them do that.
I don't want an empty seat, so buy the ticket and come fucking sit in the crowd. So
StubHub didn't buy every ticket.
No, but if they're whatever, if you need a ticket, be leery of your sources is all I'm getting at. Don't leave empty seats. Don't listen to Jimmy.
Find that padlocked lock on the site, on the toolbar. If it's padlocked, it's a secure site.
Well, that's fine. Just you know which fucking I don't know. I don't know if that's right or not.
Just be fucking careful.
Don't take IT advice from Jimmy, number one. Number two, just be, the reputable sources of tickets. There's StubHub. There's ones like that. If you see it like advertised during an NFL game, it's probably decent. One of those.
The other thing is, if you're a listener of this show and you're the scumbag that's scamming people, show up to one of these shows and show yourself.
That's not gonna
hurt you.
No, but do that. Get tickets to all these upcoming live shows. We have, like we said, Atlanta, Minneapolis, Denver this weekend. Then we go New York, Cincinnati, and Philly the next weekend. Figure that fucking routing out. I don't know what fucking drunken, blind, fucking moron, Mr. Magoo, idiot fucking routed us there.
Map.
Gee, I don't know. Darts or somebody had a seizure in the middle of their fucking routing action. Just went scribble. I don't know what the fuck happened, but we got screwed hard. And then after that, we're in Boston, Chicago, Detroit, Chicago, Baltimore, which is, again, the second dumbest routing in the history of touring. So... whatever. Get some tickets for that.
We'll see you soon.
We'll see you. We'll be tired and jet-lagged and angry. So come out and see us. That's when we're at our best, obviously. And it is actually the sad part.
It's when James is at his best and I giggle my balls off.
Because I get raw and start getting pissy about it. So we all have fun there. So do that. Do the live shows. Come out and see us. Also, if you want to be an even bigger hero, you can also donate there. There's links on shutupandgivememurder.com that lead you over to PayPal and Patreon. That's patreon.com/crimeinsports, or at PayPal, you can use our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com to make a donation. And Jimmy, so many people this week have been wonderful to us and done just that and made donations. And I'll tell you right now, I'm going to beat you with an axe handle if you don't hit me with that list immediately.
This week's executive producers are Brittany Helm and Larry Peralta. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate it. I think it might be Larry.
You're the heartbeat of the damn thing. Thank you.
I don't want to call a lady Larry, but that's
it sounds like she's got a hairy chest if she is a lady. We apologize.
Thank you both very, very much. Chris Norris, Callie Ander, Tyler Sheets, Janae Content, Crystal Lamb donated twice, both ways, Patreon and PayPal.
And the butt, too? Wow.
Yeah, both,
both ways. Thank you.
Kelly Hedges, Vicky Yano Shaw, Tara Jenkins, Under the Sea Fabrics, Audrey Young, Summer McLean, Bryant Toole, Beth Higgs in the UK.
Hey, thank you.
Kenzeda Crenshaw, Kate Ives, Kevin Dougherty, Laura Yarnell, Simeon Woodvine, Travis Payne, Nicola Mastrantonio.
Oh, nice.
What?
Nicely
Did I
done.
do that?
Nicely done.
Karen Edgen, Alex, Belinda Chandler, Jessica Willis, Kensworth Slater. He's up in Minnesota. He'll be there at the Minnesota show.
Hey.
He's got a bum ticker, too. I can't wait to see that guy.
Look forward to meeting you.
I've gotten so many pictures of him in fucking hospitals. I can't wait to see him. Emily Job, Becky Estes, Bex Alice, Zachary Warburton, God, Jesus, Blake Glon, Beth Casto, Allison Hutley, Michelle Terry Photography, Erica Callan, Ross Hetherington, Lorelei Hilburn, Devin Fliss, Hope Johnson, Kevin Gilroy. That's a comic here locally.
Yeah, we know him.
He's terrible. He's a nice dude, though.
Nice guy. Good to see you at the live show.
Elizabeth Jackman. He was there, wasn't he?
Yeah, said hi to him. Good guy. Like him.
Jill Roth, Kevin Wright, Mike Coziella. Hunter Perry, Hannah Simmons, Rachel Schultes, I think. No. Nicole Vaughn, Kat Power up in New York. Thank you, Kat. Ren Gardner, Danny Trevathan, not the one that plays in the NFL. Catherine Reese, Becky Gardner, Phil Carroll, Philip Chavez, Christy Carlton, Justin Miller. He donated fucking 30 times this week.
Wow, mayhem.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.
Tyler Atkinson up in Seattle. Was it Seattle? Yeah. No, Portland. God damn it.
Portland, Jimmy.
Jamie Harder, Paul Ruest. Maybe the sweetest one this week is Micah Geets, whose friend donated for her because she doesn't have the money. It was the most
That's amazing. Thank you for giving us. God damn. People that care like that. We're blown away by that, man. Thank you.
Patrick Stockland, Jamie Sullivan, Carmen Glunt, Brendan Abels, Emma with no last name, Janice Hill, Anthony ultra difficult name, Ultramari, I think that's right. Rob Roberts, Mandy Lowry, Matt Dietrich, June Holt, Alexis Ledoux, Jordan Selmer, Cindy Oakes, Rachel Bridge, Derek Deshane, Sonia Meineck, and Gary Howard. You guys are fucking amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. We say that all the time, but it's hard to express exactly how thankful we are every week, but it's really true. We're blown away. So thank you.
The thing is that two humble guys can't quantify emotions like that.
No, we're bad at it. And we're comics, so we want to be wise asses about it. We can't get in touch with our true feelings. It's a disaster. So,
but thank you's all we've got.
Thank you. That's it. So thank you so much. We really, really appreciate you. And Jimmy, what if they appreciate you? How can they tell you? Where can they find you?
You can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat.
Oh.
And I do my best to respond to everything. It's not easy, but I really appreciate you guys. So thank you. Where can they tell you how much they appreciate you?
That's pretty damn easy. You can do that at Jimmy P is funny, and or you can copy and paste my last name from the show description because you're not going to spell it right. And why bother trying? Honestly, you don't need to know how to spell that. So copy and paste, do it that way. But that said, Jesus Christ, it's been a wild one. Everybody go have some macadamia nut pancakes and then wake up the next morning just because that guy can't. Do that, and you'll feel better about yourself. And if possible, he'll feel worse about himself. So good for him. Fuck him. That's wonderful. Until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.